Welcome to Archangel Revelations and Prophecies 444. I am Gad, your host. The chart on the right belongs to a viewer who requested a full moon reading, and that's what we'll be doing now. Now, keep in mind, all my clients already have that chart to the left, which is the full moon reading itself for the 12 zodiac signs, and now we'll be spending a lot of time on the chart on the right to get clarity on what this full moon means to this particular chart, this particular person. So once again, let's just get a little information about the full moon. Of course, we know it occurs when the sun is opposite the moon. You can look at the chart on the right, on the left, excuse me, on the left, and you'll see it. So it highlights opposing forces or polarities in your life. But once again, when you're dealing with the moon, you're going to be dealing more feminine, more internal, more, you can say secretive in a way. You can even say mysterious. The sun is more masculine, external, more about energy, making a move. The moon will be more, like I said, internal. If it is going to make a move, it's going to be a little bit more uh, silent, if you might say. It is more watery, more emotional. That's why when it's a full moon, the tides go up and stuff. So, and they are on opposite sides, so they do oppose. But just because the word says oppose, it doesn't have to be negative opposition. Just like if you're playing a game of basketball, you one-on-one with somebody, and even though you guys are opposing each other, whatever, one's trying to win or whatever, one's trying to get the better scores on the other one, but you're actually having fun together. Because you wouldn't, like if you said let's play basketball, and another person said, oh, I'm not going to do that because it's negative. It would be extremely boring, and you would get frustrated. You wouldn't want to play basketball with them because you would say this person's an idiot. So you gotta look at it that way. And if people are flipping out, because I know I was at my job around this full moon, a lot of people were customers is off the hook. There's a lot of weird stuff going on, but you notice all this is going on in Capricorn, all those stelliums that I talked about in the full moon reading. So you saw that a lot. A lot of stuff was going on. So you may have been seeing that too. So that's why I said make sure you, if you haven't done it, make sure you listen to that full moon reading, or because nobody else, as far as I know, nobody else did it like I do it. You go right to the chart, all 12 signs, all the numerology, everything that's on it. So you have a good idea what's going on in each house and things like that. Because otherwise, what you get is you might get somebody talking about it, but they're not gonna be as thorough. And if you don't hear it, that means you won't know what's coming on. Whereas with the chart, you get a thorough read of what to expect. And this full moon was very important because it definitely had to do with shifts and portals opening. A lot of people there, gifts are increasing. You know, psychic gifts, astrological gifts. A lot of people having dreams and things of that nature. So you went on to say the opposition will be opposing forces or polarities in your life, such as your work versus home, but also divine masculine, divine feminine. But that work versus home, that's been going on for a while, and as long as that's where the natal chart is built, so it's always going to be a type of work versus home opposition, and you have to learn how to deal with it, and especially if you're trying to keep a job, because if you're trying to keep a job, one can't win over the other. So it's always going to be opposition between home versus work. and hopefully people find a balance or how to deal with it. So, like I said, moon, internal tensions, sun, external pressures can lead to personal conflicts and crises that drain your energy. And there's a lot of stuff going on now. That's why a lot of people have been saying they're tired. They'll sleep and get up and think, and they'll go right back to sleep. So he says, following a full moon, your home, family, and intimate relationships come into sharper focus. The quality of emotions and instincts reach their peak at a full moon. And he's suggesting that you use your increased emotional strength and intuition to overcome any relationship challenges. He also says subconscious awareness allows for an impartial and balanced look at your personal relationships. So they're saying these things come in view during a full moon. You will clearly see any relationship dynamics or negative feelings causing him disharmony. And the full moon has a relationship to the previous new moon that passed before the January 10th full moon. And the previous new moon was the solar eclipse. Or I'll just say new moon. Because really what I'm reading is a full moon meaning, but it's not from January. So I won't say it was a solar eclipse. I'm not sure. I don't remember. All right. So during a full moon, your new moon goals can be tuned or completed. Because sometimes during a new moon, you may get the universe will start to send you hints, and then that can become more fully aware during a full moon. They say at a full moon, it's like the harvest time of whatever you were learning or whatever your intention was during a new moon. And you can now make emotional adjustments in response to those new goals. Now they say that the full moon effects last for 2 weeks up until the up and coming new moon. Now I've even heard some people say that this full moon might even last to February's full moon. All right, so they are implying that during a full moon, you can make decisions, things that no longer seem to be working or whatever. You can make decisions or things that just need to be fine-tuned or talked about. We'll be doing a full moon. And that was a Astrology King. And now this is Molly Hall from liveabout.com. So she's saying that the full moon will be like the peak, P-E-A-K, P-E-A-K. And also, she said many feel a buzz. And like I could tell people was, when I worked, people were definitely out there. But the full moons usually had that effect anyway. Because it's messing with the water. Internally, people internally it's really messing up. Plus also a spiritual connection with all of that as well. and also psychic connections and things like that. Because remember, the moon is like a big receptor. All right, so let's continue with Molly Hall. So she said the full moon can bring a reckoning or a moment of truth, and it is what it is. Like I said, the female that lives up the street, that's like a soulmate. I haven't seen her in a while, but I did see her right around that full moon, and it was things leading up to it before it happened. But as it, you just saw it was nothing really. So those are reckonings as well, and even like another person I work with, because a lot of people that you're around are people you've had lifetimes with them, and like you just don't notice it because you're always moving all, and unless somebody really did something or said something, then you'll catch it. But a lot of people you're around are people you've been around before many lifetimes, and that's why a lot of people you have a feeling of deja vu. These are the reasons why. So sometimes it's just a moment of truth, like a female I work around. It's also like a soulmate. It's been a strange situation with her. So just little moments of truth. That's all I can tell you. It might be eye contact. It might be you say something to each other, something like that. But it doesn't always have to be big. It doesn't have to be like boom, big love story, or nothing like that. So she says that the moon does light up the dream time landscape, and that's why I said I just uploaded a video about dreams on this channel, and because of the full moon. So she said the polarity brings heightened tension as balance is sought between the two extremes. And I knew before it happened. That's why I said astrology is just a big help, especially when you're using experts, because I knew it was going to be something with the mother. I had already said that in the full moon reading that I gave to the people who requested it. Um, and it was a serious situation with my mother, and now therefore I was better prepared to deal with it because I knew it was coming. So a lot of times when you're not prepared for it, and then that's why all hell breaks loose. And there was a lady in New York who was a mother, and she was killed during that full moon. So if she had knew astrology, she would have known because she was hanging out like she does a lot of stuff at night for some reason. Like she'll be out in the city at nighttime by herself, and I guess she thought her area was safe, but you know, and she was old. She like 80 something years old. So that's what I'm trying to tell you. So all that time she's been alive, but under that full moon. And like I said, I would have known it was coming. I would have told anybody that's a mother or anything like that, this is not the time to be hanging out by yourself and under, because I could tell. And I said it in the reading. I said you got to keep an eye on the mothers around this full moon. So now Molly Hall is saying sometimes full moons feel like the end of an act in your ongoing life story. So that's what I'm trying to say. So when I saw my soulmate, that's kind of like what it was. Like it was like an ending, like an end. They went up the street. It was just like a quick look at each other, but you know, nothing like the old days. So that's like an end, the ending. But the funny thing about this whole thing is, you may think it's ending, and then for some strange reason it's not. So you gotta learn how to be patient, trust astrology, and keep moving forward. So Molly Hall says it's like a movie where all the plot points are pulled together, and for a brief moment, you can see the interwoven whole. And if you heard what I was saying, each of those cases I'm talking about are just brief moments. And they say always set intentions during these full moons and new moons. So she said a full moon is a time to accept culminations or endings, but also to act on something that you've been intending on, intentions, or imagining. And she says when you do have intentions, like during a full moon, and you act on them, then you're bringing into reality that idea. And she said that's a form of magic. All right, so just give me this one. This is kind of unique. This person's talking about esoteric stuff and the astrological meaning of the full moon. So give me a moment. We'll see if we can take a look at that. All right, here we go. Esoteric astrology is astrology of the soul, and that is true. That's why they say many people have different ways of looking at things, and many people, everybody has a course or a journey they're on, and some things are spiritual, some things are esoteric, some things are mystical. So it goes on and goes on. So that's why you hear so many people, saying, live and let live, or you know, you can't just have one interpretation and stuff. So more and more, I'm just respecting that. So this one is esoteric astrology, is astrology of the soul, and they say the ordinary and familiar form of astrology is concerned with the human personality, and that's when you get like what I said, what I call bubblegum astrology. Because they just want to, they just want, oh, what about me? I'm lonely. What about me? What about me? What's this? What's this? But they don't really get too deep into like something about the soul, your soul purpose. Why are you here? What's going on? So now they're talking about a master DK. They say that the writing of Alice A. Bailey, because it's kind of funny. You got like Alistair, all these different names, but they are quite similar. So let me just take a quick look at that. And I never heard of a master DK until now. All right. So just give me a moment. I'm gonna look into that a little bit. Yep. It's actually Master DJWHALKHUL. And then it says Alice A. Bailey. But there's at least three, like Alistair, and there's another one. The one guy that was behind the Beatles, why they were so famous and all their music. These are all like mystical people and stuff like that. But there's a whole lot of people calling him Master DK. I guess after this guy though. So that's something else to for people to like to research. That's something else to look deeper into. But right now I just wanna get his name. All right, hold this for a moment. I'll put this on pause. All right, so like I said, the other one is Aleister Crowley. Another deep mystical person. And he was the one that really influenced the Beatles. But there's another one though. And I think his name starts with AL too. I just can't think of it. Albert Pike, maybe that's it. And they're saying Albert Pike was the one that said it's going to be 3 world wars, which we're getting close to. And these people I'm naming, most secret societies, one way or the other, were influenced by these people. No matter that has nothing to do with color, none of that. All that stuff is just the matrix, and all that stuff is a division. And just even like I said, it's a lot of stuff on TV now for elections. If you watch them, you see them taking Freemasonry poses and stuff. So if you don't know what's going on, you'll see them. You think they're arguing and debating, but they're actually showing you that it's all one. It's all one. So they take poses and everything so that you know that the people that are in the know. No, it's just they just scamming you, and that's why I say they're all marching down to the final world war, which is the third one. So they say the goal. They're saying the goal is to bring your outer personal self with the inner spiritual person. The two people, the two selves. All right. The 12 signs of the zodiac, along with the planets in our solar system, influence our consciousness with these principles. So every full moon they go to meditation mount and they focus on these universal principles and they experience within a group field the spiritual energies as they move down into their consciousness awareness, which the moon does that. So this full moon, according to their space chart, was in Cancer. Now I want to look at her chart as well, but it's going to affect her chart. Now, if you notice, look at her chart to the right at 0 degrees, which means new beginnings. It's leaving Scorpio, going to Sagittarius. So the main thing that means is an increase. It's going to be an increase in your psychic gifts. So I have a video now on the cleric gifts, clairvoyance, clairsentience, and all that, and that's all free for people placing orders. So I'm gonna send that over to her right now. All right, give me a moment. All right, give me a moment. I'll be right with you. So now you got that report I just sent you, because you'll see it. It shows you how to work with your psychic gifts and all your gifts increasing. So that's definitely what's going to happen to you. And when we get more into your chart, I'll be more specific. Now, they're talking about the soul. They're talking about the moon, and now your moon has just entered. Well, I'm going by the chart to the left, because the chart to the left is a master chart. It's as above, so below is how astrology works. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So once again, your moon has just moved into the 8th house of the soul house as far as this timing. But that's where you were born. Don't get me wrong. But as far as this timing is concerned, so in the 8th house is always going to be about the past life, souls, and like I haven't did my own reading because I've been so busy. So yesterday I just decided to just do it, and sure enough, it's like the new moon is going into Aquarius, and they were saying a lot of stuff from the past is going to come back, and all that stuff came true, like unbelievably came true. So so the same thing with yours. A lot of stuff going to do with past life issues, past issues coming out of that looks like 8th house, and it's also going to be communications, and because you got Neptune there, it's going to be maybe through the dreams, your subconscious mind. So it's going to be very interesting. And you were also born on a new moon. See where your moon is and see where your sun is. So that means you were born not too long after new moon. So a lot of stuff's going to be happening to you. And we'll get into the numerology and stuff like that. And like I said, a lot of people, sometimes they don't see it or they don't realize it. Because most people, like I said, they just said it. You have some people that are down with the soul level of astrology, but then you only have some people they're only on the human personality level. Those type of people, a whole lot of stuff could be happening, and they won't discern it or pick it up. Whereas other people, they could kind of know immediately on say, hey, something's not right. What's going on? But they could sense that something is changing and something ain't right, even if they can't put their finger on it right away. All right, so what we're looking at is Cancer full moon, as well as a Sagittarius moon for her. And we could also look at her Cancer too. But with that Mars there, it may imply. Oh, we'll wait till we get there because it's different ways to interpret it. All right. So this one says Cancer full moon. Just give me a moment. It just makes me laugh because they be changing, like they just be changing your computer around and shit. It really makes me laugh, like the stuff they do. But they done changed my whole everything I do. They done changed. It's just crazy. Like everything that I needed for this WordPad was right on the main menu, whatever you want to call it, right there. And I see this shit all the time. I just don't say too much about it. Now they done changed it again, and I'm looking like, where's my stuff at? And how come now when I do this, this happens? What the hell? And then I looked at it and I said, well, let me push the button. And then when I pushed the button, it said paint drawing. So I pushed that button because I never seen that button on my thing before. And then when I pushed it, then what I was looking for popped up on something else. And it's kind of corny because that's the way it used to look like 15, 20 years ago. Like it be too much. Like sometimes you keep on thinking you're making stuff better and better and better, and then it gets worse and worse and worse. And a lot of times when they be doing all that uploading and stuff, some of that stuff don't even work. So then you got to sit there and troubleshoot. All right, so let me go back up, try to find out what's going on. Gemini. This is crazy. Now what is going on? Cancer. Gemini is number 3. Cancer. So what is this? Y'all gotta excuse me. This was totally unexpected. Damn, it'll really mess things up. There you go. Thank God I got it back. All right. Now we just gotta figure out this stupid stuff. All right. We want this here. I never saw no crazy stuff like this before in my life. Okay. Crazy stuff. think I figured it out a little bit, but it's effed up, like literally effed up. That's why I say always use wisdom. Try your best to always have a copy of everything you do, because that's just how it, when you're on a network, that's just how it works. It's just a network, and somebody can just come in and just F your shit all up. And anytime you're on any type of network, anything could happen. I don't know if y'all remember Yahoo Messenger. It would be times when I would be getting messages from people. They thought they was talking to somebody else. Like from their side, they thought they were talking to Bob or something. But for somehow it would be connected to me. And these people wouldn't even know me. And they would be sitting there telling you all their business and stuff. I'd be like, yo, I'm not, I'm you have to be Bob. You have to be Bob because it says in my screen, Bob. It may say in your screen, Bob, but I'm not Bob. But that's what a network does. So you got to be careful. And I know that anybody in the technology, you know, it's people that can change your whole computer. They could be working on your computer from where they're at. They could be in a foreign country and be sitting there using your cursor and typing and everything. And everybody thinks you got to give them access. No, you don't. Not that they know what they're doing. A lot of people, they just know like your ISP and those certain things. They could definitely get into your stuff. That's easy. That's easy. That's light work. So now I got to do something else because I got to go back to that page. Let me see. All right. So I got to go back to that page because some of this information you got to click a link. So I got to find that page if I can. Yep, meditation mount. All right, we got it. Very good. Now what just happened? So now we're gonna read about the Cancer moon, but we're also gonna read about the Sagittarius moon. Oh, they wrote a whole lot. So let me do something. Let me what is this for? So she says Cancer is the birth sign of humanity. It rules the mother, the womb, and the birth of humanity on the physical plane. So they're telling you that's what the Cancer full moon is all about. I told you guys it's about the mother primarily. I already told you that. So it's called during the age of Cancer, and that's when the humans and the animals begin to show up on the planet. Like I told you about portals or gates opening, say to the great gate open to begin the evolution of the human experience. So then they said once says this was created, then they shot down a spirit light into the human consciousness. And and I won't say that's what it was, but when the Bible talks about God breathing the breath of life into Adam, and they're telling you that what God wanted was a bridge between this life that had just been created and His higher spiritual kingdom. All right. See, this Cancer is one of the two great gates of the zodiac. It is a gate of the world of forms into physical incarnation, and the sign wherein the duality of form and of soul is united in the physical body. So that's what I'm trying to say. Whether people realize it or not, there'll be something going on with the stuff that you could call spiritual, space or galactical and stuff like that. It'll begin to form in a human body, male and female. It's like a birth. Call new birth, whatever you choose. So Cancer is the first gate they're saying. Then they jump into the second gate, which is Capricorn, the direct opposite. And that's where the sun is right now. And that's why all this is going on. That's why I keep saying all this is going on, because things are being birthed, whether people know it or not. And people that are like deep in the secret society, Freemasonry, everything you're watching on TV, even the elections, all that has to do with this. So they're saying Capricorn will be the gate out of human existence. And they're saying Capricorn actually opens up the gate from the physical world into the world of spirit. And I won't even limit it to the world of spirit, really the world of whatever was ever out there, but beyond our physical reality. And she said this will be evolutionary consciousness. She said the journey from Cancer to Capricorn. So that's why I say if you just listen to what she's saying, so it's almost like telling you if the moon was in Capricorn, if you were born when the moon was in Capricorn, you're actually entering something. So the journey from Capricorn to Cancer, the journey from Cancer to Capricorn is the passage from consciousness to enlightened consciousness. So they're almost implying that you can't really get the enlightenment without going through that journey. So at first you're going to function through instinct. Next is functioning through intellect. And finally functioning through intuition. And that would be what they call New Age, telepathy, and all that. And that's what she see. That's what you see with hers. And it's right where that moon is entering Sagittarius. And all that, like I said, all that is built on astrology, and it's time frames that these things happen. So they say the culmination of your human journey is when you realize that you are one with Source. And again, like I said, that's strictly on the soul journey. Because if you're just dealing with basic astrology, it wouldn't necessarily mean that. And moon in Cancer, remember that Cancer is ruled by the moon. All right, now we're just gonna look at just give me a second. Yeah, Moon Sagittarius. So with Sagittarius, they say this is the seeker or the philosopher, I would also say. And Sagittarius will take you from concern with the material world to more like the spiritual goals. Now, like my best friend is a female, and I've known her since '94, and she's a Sagittarius. But even though she's a Sagittarius, like you could tell she was an old soul, you know. But she's not. She really doesn't have an interest in none of this She never did. She doesn't have an interest in none of this metaphysical stuff, none of this spiritual stuff, because to her it's already been completed. But she was very interested in the material aspect, getting a job, making a lot of money, living in a mansion. Now that stuff turns her on, but all the other stuff not that big of a deal to her. She'll talk about it, but it's never been that big of a deal to her. So that's what I mean about you can't just go by the zodiac sign and all that. If you're dealing with somebody that's done all this in the past, that's why they're not that impressed with it when they're here now. Whereas some people they go crazy, like they're obsessed. Got to get a job. Got to work a lot of hours. Oh, I want a bigger car. I want a big family. I want big. I want to. And that's why I say it would be. It's just too difficult to try to have one belief system for everybody because everybody's on different time frames and different whatever. So they call Sagittarius the seeker or the hunter, trying to hit that mark and then move on. She's saying that Sagittarius is three different symbols: the centaur, the archer, and a simple arrow. The centaur is like an animal man. The archer that sits on the centaur is more evolved. The archer is not confined to nature. He can move between the experience of spiritual and life appearance or form. The white horse that the centaur sits The white horse that the archer sits on represents the soul. The arrow being the third symbol. Setting the spiritual intention from one level to consciousness to the next higher. They say Sagittarius tend to be one-pointed, honest, seeking after that which is meaningful and significant. All right. So once again, with Sagittarius, what's going on with her is still another journey. And again, each person is different because some people will pick it up, some people won't, and then some people it'll be physical things happening that they'll notice, but they don't realize that those physical things are helping push them to where they're supposed to be. See, Doreen Virtue always taught that when you start to spiritually awaken, a lot of things in your physical world, it's gonna be like what you're seeing on the chart. They're opposing each other. And as much as you don't want to cause any trouble. You don't want to shake the water, but unfortunately, it's gonna get shook anyway. And in the case that you're losing something in the physical, that's why I just got finished talking about having a backup plan because I told you about the computers. That's how life is because you're in a network. You're in a universal network because whether you believe it or not, you're connected to everything you see out there. At nighttime, if you look up, you're connected to all that. It's all a network. That's why you hear about people astral planing when they actually leave their body and go all over. You're connected. So that's why you still need backup plans, plan Bs or whatever. You could have won best employee of the month three months in a row. And then all of a sudden something will come up. And if that's all you believe in, you're gonna be shocked. But when you are awake, you realize everything is a journey and you'll handle things differently. Some people might fight, some people may not, and some people may fight, but they still know whether I win or not is not important. This is all part of the journey, but I've been working for this company for a long time, and I just feel like I have to stand up. I have to say something. But either way, everything is going to be shift, and that doesn't mean shift means you're going to lose anything, but it definitely means it's a shift going on. And still, your mother is playing a role in that. No matter what, the more you study astrology, the more you understand how this universe works. Everything is in place for a reason. Like you'll hear some people tell you nothing's accidental or coincidental. And no matter what you think, you may not get along with relatives and certain people. You may think that they're not that whatever, but they're still put in place for a reason and they're still being used by the universe. And all of it has something to do with your development of why you're here. And mother can be anybody in that mother position. Because even like if you go to a church, they might say, "Oh, this is a church mother." Now she's not necessarily anybody's mother. She might not even have any children in this life. but she's still the church mother of that church. Therefore, astrologically speaking, she's still going to be in a Cancer position. So for this person on the right, the main thing about this full moon to them is this transition of that moon entering the realm of the psychic soul. The psychic soul. Yep. All about the soul. So if you look at both of these charts, it's a strong focus on the 8th house. So in her case, she may get some type of advancement in her career. She may get some type of awareness of things in the career, better understanding, better insight. And that's still part of her journey. Even though it seems totally physical, it's not. It's going to tie into her spiritual purpose and why she's here. This is why when Joseph was in Egypt, he was given all these earthly jobs, all these earthly responsibilities, but that was all helping him with his spiritual calling while he was on the planet. And remember that Sagittarius is also the healer. And Sagittarius can also be the bridge to the higher self. But like I said, although my best friend was quite ready to leave her footprint in the material world, she was still highly spiritual. Highly spiritual. Because I always credit my life still being here because of her. And just like that death, she's died and been reborn so many times, it's not funny. She's had so many operations where everybody told her you're not gonna live, and she's still alive, even to this day. And she's been fighting these operations. She's been fighting over 25 years. The fact that she's still alive is a miracle. So your 8th house is about death and rebirth as well. And your career seems to have a connection with it. Even one time you said you were asked to go into the back and all that. Even that had something to do with it all. Now me personally, I probably wouldn't have went. I would have been a 9 going back there. But still, it's probably served a purpose. Like where I used to work in this place a long time ago, and that's a very mystical time because you worked in this big ass like a factory, but it was like a warehouse. And then inside of that warehouse was a fence, like a gated area. Now the man that was in that fence that ran that area, he was considered a Christian or something. But all this is for a reason. All this is for a reason. And you got to remember that as above, so below. So metaphysically looking back at that place, it really was like a form of hell, and all those gates meant portals. And all kind of junk. And it was kind of funny because it was a highly racial situation, like blacks and whites and everything. It was highly racial, but they were able to coexist. They were able to coexist at that time. Didn't necessarily like each other, but they weren't killing each other either. And then it was funny because it was a white guy that worked there from Texas, so he always had on his cowboy hat. He was from Texas, but the other white boys didn't like him, so they used to crack on him, and he quit. And he quit the job, and it was kind of funny because first Texans are pretty tough, but he quit, and I'm laughing because I knew the history of that area, and it was highly racial. So if anybody they really would have been like trying to start trouble with, it would have been us, like the people of color. But for whatever reason, it was just like a mutual. We don't like you, you don't like us, but we got to work together. So whatever, you know. But when he came, they jumped all over him like because he was from Texas. So when I saw that, I just thought that was funny. And then there was another white guy there, but he acted more black than anything. And I kind of kept to myself, so I didn't know what his what the whole story was with him. But some of the black people there was always talking trash to me, so I was always defending myself against them. And then one time he just came out of nowhere and took my side because he saw what they were doing. So when that happens, you just look at somebody like why does this guy care and stuff. And then it was unique because the county sheriff's department came in there looking for that white guy I'm talking about because I guess he owed child support or something, and he actually ran out the door. Like he ran out the door, got in his car, and was going, and he never came back to that job ever again. So that's crazy. But I had a few jobs like that where the police would come up in there and people would just go running out. People would hide in the bathrooms and just kind of crazy shit. So this will be going on in your life, and we will be looking more at this. I'm just trying to get a grip on everything. Like what I was just reading, they got way too philosophical, and they got way too technical. And I thought we was gonna get some like really good information, but I think it was there, but they were just way too technical with it and way too philosophical. So now we're getting ready to get into the nitty gritty. So I think I just sent you the whole report. So you might want to read over your eighth house again, which is ruled by Scorpio. And so your sun is in your Scorpio, but your Scorpio is in your seventh house. Because whenever you're dealing with this, it's always going to be about revelation, and it's always sun. So there is something that came up. Some type of revelation came to you or will come to you since this full moon. Now, ironically, the power of the full moon could be 2 weeks ahead of the full moon, and then it's after that too, like 2 weeks after. And what I was told was this full moon is actually gonna go all the way to next month's full moon, and also it's 13 full moons in 2020 because of the Mayan calendar has 13 moons. So it's a lot of stuff really going on. You may see it, you may not understand it, but either way, it's still going on. And your chart appears to be seeing some type of a I don't want to use the word exposure, but it's still some type of lights coming on one way or another. And whether it's directly affecting you or not, doesn't matter. It's still going to be some type of lights coming on because that's what a full moon can do anyway. Like any type of revelation will come out, but it can really come out. And I'm gonna say it again. In your case, it may take all the way to the next full moon, but it's definitely going into the dark, the eighth house, and bringing out some type of info. And that's why I say if you're working and you end up in the back somewhere and you're bringing something out, it's more to it. That's why I say people just don't want to understand that. But it's more to it. As above, so below. And that's why I say when I was getting mad at my twin when I work with her, and I was basically literally yelling to the universe, y'all better do something about her before I do. I was just gonna tell her off, but I was trying not to do that. And then like the very next day, a meeting comes out of nowhere. The head of human resources is holding a meeting, and she's talking. But the only people, like, it was me. I'm in the room. We're in the room, and my twin's not there yet because my twins always get there late. But the lady, the leader of human resources, she was talking primarily to me in the room, not nobody else. Even though they were sitting there, she was looking at me. And then when my twin came in, she started looking at her. So it was other people in the room, but the only two she would look at was me and the twin. So that meeting was deeper than just a job meeting. It was way deeper. And then after that meeting, my twin wasn't as crazy as she was. She is still a nut job, but she wasn't as vindictive and just in your face. So that's what I'm trying to tell you. Things happen, but if you're not awake, you won't realize it. Just even stupid stuff. Your car might stop on the road or something stopping on the road or whatever, and you just think it's just a typical stopper, but it's not. That was also. This is all about energy, and you may not realize it, but I keep trying to tell you. Some of the people that you're around are people you've been around for lifetimes, and y'all are all getting energy off of energy. And that's why sometimes when you see somebody looking at you with something or some strange, you just know something strange, and like you may tend to get mad depending on your personality. You may tend to get mad, but there's a reason why that little event happened. As crazy as it sounds. Like if your neighborhood is quiet as I don't know what, and the moment you go out there to throw some garbage in a garbage can or something, a car pulls up and they just stop right there, like for literally no reason. But it stopped at the moment you went out there or whatever. And now you're kind of pissed off because you're like, who's in the car? What is this bullshit? Why are they stopping? And what's it? And they stop right there. But that's like an energy exchange. And people don't have to believe it, but it still is. Because you have to understand what's the purpose of a coincidence. And it doesn't mean you go crazy over it. But you do have to aware that there's a reason for it. And it didn't just happen for no reason. Like I'm just, what is the purpose of a coincidence? That sounds like an oxymoron. It doesn't have a purpose. It's a coincidence. No, it ain't no coincidence. What is the purpose of a coincidence? I love that question. So they gave you this is intuitionjournal.com. Synchronicity and the hidden meanings of coincidences. Ha! So I guess I'm not as stupid. I guess I'm just not as stupid as I sound. Ha ha. Alright, so check. Because what I'm trying to tell you in your case, you may have been seeing coincidences. It all depends on how awake you are, and if you're really awake, you'll pick it up no matter what. I remember one time my soulmate was just up the street sitting in the grass or something, sitting on her lawn. And I looked out the front door. I didn't know she was out there. I looked out the front door. Now you got to remember what I'm trying to tell you guys. I'm way up the street, and I'm looking at a freaking front door. And my front door don't have no big windows or nothing. You literally have to stand up and look out the window. There's no way anybody really can see you if you just happen to look out the front door. And I don't know if she's out there. I looked out, looked up the street, and she was sitting there, and she had her back turned to me. And the moment I looked out, she turned around and looked right in that direction. Now, whether she looked right at me or not, I don't know. But she totally turned around, turned her head around, and looked right in the direction the moment I looked out the door. So these are synchronicities. These are coincidences. Now, this is where I'm at, intuitionjournal.com. It says synchronicity and the hidden meaning of coincidences. Because there ain't no damn coincidence. Only if you choose to believe it. Like, you're always going to remember the Matrix movie where they showed him a park. So what are you looking at? So I'm looking at a lady in the park, and it looks like there's a couple of birds around her or something. And they're like, no, that's not what that is. And they begin to show him what really was going on. This is all about energy, whether you like it or not. And it's also about your growth while you're here. And some people wake up to it and start to become more intuitive and click in, and some people don't. That's why you got a lot of people that use astrology for bubblegum astrology. They're worrying about astrology for selfish reasons. What about me? What about mine? What about... But then you have people that use astrology for like a higher soul or higher whatever reason. And it can be frustrating because your time may not be the universe's time. Or you may get a reading that says, hey, this is going to happen and blah, blah, blah. And it kind of happens, but doesn't fully happen. But a lot of times it has to do with your personality. Like the go-getter, you'll see them more with the love in a girlfriend or a boyfriend or the car. So they're a go-getter. They're going to jump up and go get it. The opportunity opens up and they jump up and go get it. Whereas somebody else is maybe more passive, the universe will give them an opportunity, but they're still wondering and thinking and analytical and everything. So it doesn't really happen for them. So, at some point in our lives, we all experience synchronicities, coincidences which are highly improbable, and these events occur even though they're highly improbable. And if you notice, that's all I'll be talking about. Highly improbable. No better in their right mind would bet on it unless they love long shots. Because they know if they bet on a long shot and they win, they're going to make a whole lot of money. But other than that, they're not betting on it because it's highly improbable that if you look up a street and ain't no cars come down that street in hours, ain't nothing out there, maybe a squirrel or something, ain't nothing out there. But the moment this person walk outside, all of a sudden it's like a totally different new dimension. Like now all this activity is going on, and it's all around that person. If you notice, so there's a lot more going on than what you see. Say you were thinking about an old friend that you haven't seen in years, then receive a phone call from them a few seconds later. But that's not really that tough. You may think it's that tough. That's not that tough because that's your higher self and their higher. I'm talking about bigger stuff I just got finished naming. You have a sudden unexplained urge to visit a place you have never been to, then end up meeting the love of your life there. Yep, that's again soulmate stuff, twin flame stuff. Are such coincidences merely chance, or is there something more at work? The coming together of inner and outer events in a way that cannot be explained by cause and effect and that is meaningful to the observer. And that's what I'm talking about. Then it says synchronicity clues from the universe. And they have Metatron's cube, which is sweet. So what I'm saying is not really stupid because this is what she said. We receive a lot of questions from people wanting to understand the meaning of coincidences and synchronicities. And then they go to a person named Deepak Chopra, Depakchopra. When you live your life with an appreciation of coincidences and their meanings, you connect with the underlying field of infinite possibilities. This is when the magic begins. But I look at it like owning a loaded gun. This is how I see it. Even though you have a loaded gun on your person, you have to be very careful about everything. That's how I look at it. Because whatever you do in life, there's good and bad. But the point being made, coincidences. And again, the more awake you are, the more they won't have to talk to you. When I say they, I'm talking about the universe. They won't have to talk to you through coincidences. And when you're here for a reason, purposes, I think that's what that matters as well. Because somebody running this universe wants you to know that you're here for a reason, and don't forget why you're here. And I guess you guys know that Alex Jones is back. That was funny. Maybe not on YouTube, but he's still crazy. He's still doing what he does. So if you're into stuff like that, you can go to Infowars and get put on their newsletter list. All right, so that was the main thing I was trying to get out. Because remember, Sagittarius is highly intuitive. And a lot of times people think things aren't happening in their lives. Things is happening in your life all the time. But if you're not really awake to it, you're not going to see it. Because a lot of this stuff will be coincidences, energy shifts, and you'll feel it sometimes too. And that's why I say you have to be alert. Because those type of people, they're only going to wake up to somebody that actually approaches them. But the person that actually approaches you might be no good for you. So you got to really be alert and awake to that. And I'm going to say it again. It's more about energy than anything else. So like I said, I've learned even long before this whole metaphysical stuff. Because this stuff has always been going on. Since I've been on this, it's always been going on for anybody. But what happens is when they give you fancy phrases like, "Oh, twin flames," "Oh, divine meeting," "Oh," and then you get caught up in that. But that stuff's been going on forever. But you do have a twin soul. I'm not saying that's not true. It is true, but you got to be careful because just because you meet somebody doesn't mean that they're in your favor. And that's why you see all these people, these broken up marriages and all that. Look what just happened with Prince Harry and former Princess Marilyn Markle, if I said her name right, Megan, whatever. I'm sorry, but the reason why I'm saying formal, the reason why I still say Prince because that's still the Queen's bloodline, so he'll always be a prince to her in her heart, but maybe not officially. But who would have saw that coming, really? And then her own father still refuses to talk to her. Her own father said to her, I think her father's name is Thomas. He said that she's not going to see me again until I'm dead. Like I'll never talk to, and that's his own daughter and stuff. So that's just crazy. But again, these type of things have been going on many, many times. And if you know how many dynasties and families have broken up and went to war, even though they're brothers and sisters and bloodlines, this is nothing new. So point I'm saying is you gotta watch, you gotta learn how to think, basically. You've got to learn how to think and realize why you're here, what your purpose is, and is this going to be good for me or not? Because a lot of these unions, so-called divine unions, like you may really be ready. Like I've been a spiritual person since I've been on the planet. Now I'm moving into being a metaphysical spiritual person. So I'm not trying to hook up with nobody that's taking me back some fucking 15, 20, 30 years. You out of your fucking mind. I don't want to live that crap again. I already did it. So in a lot of these unions, the soulmate or the twin will be younger than you and all crazy, or they'll have all these flaws that you've already overcome. So this is what the universe does. That's why I say sometimes it really is like the universe is just sitting there, and you see it done in the Bible as well as the Book of Job. Hey, what about that guy? He's the most righteous man on the planet. So let's make his life a living hell. That's Job chapter 1 and 2. It doesn't say, hey, look at the most righteous man on the planet. They're doing a great job. Let's go get one of these wicked people. Let's go get that guy over there is not doing anything. Let's go mess their life up. They don't. They pick the righteous guy. So you got to understand where you're at. That's why I said you got to really understand that. Because then when it begins to happen, you don't go crazy. Because that's what I had to learn how to do. I don't mind if I mess up. I can deal with it. but I'm not carrying nobody else's garbage. So I put the garbage back on that person's whatever you call it, metaphorical lawn. I put the garbage back on their metaphorical lawn, and I continue to move on my journey. And I'm a very helpful person, but I'm not going to carry somebody else's garbage. And you will end up carrying it if you're not tough or you don't understand what's going on. Because that's why you have so many people going, why me? Why me? And then when they go to astrology, again, it's bubblegum astrology, because they're asking all the wrong questions because they don't want the right answers. And that's why they're not asking the right questions, because they don't want the right answers. So this works out very well, but you have to be aware of the greater spirit that's behind all of this. And this is why you'll be put into a situation that's, you got the okay, but it's wrong, it's illegal, it's immoral. And if you do it, you're going to have to pay for that. You might have to pay by the human laws that's on planet Earth, but you also got to pay for the universal laws that are running the universe. So that's why it's not easy. And that's why you have to be awake. And you can't be the type of person that only responds when somebody physical approaches you. You have to be the type of person who your intuition is connected to the universe, and now you start to see the difference in this and that. Like I said, like the female I work with, there's definitely something there. There's something there, no matter how you look at it. Definitely, like 100%. Now what it is, I have no freaking idea, but it's definitely something there. And it's getting so bad now that health reasons I haven't even been able to be there as much, and that's becoming a crisis. But you already see it on the chart to the left, the 8th house, the house of death, rebirth, twin flame, twin souls, the supernatural house, the house that connects you to so many different portals, the female, the abyss, the well. That's the 8th house. That's Revelation chapter 9, the bottomless pit, where the scorpion is there. That's Scorpio. So that's where all this is going on too. And it's unbelievably there. And some of these people that really go out of their way to connect with you, you say, oh wow, she's cute. Oh wow, she likes me. Oh wow. But there may be a reason why she's trying to connect to you. What is that reason? What is that reason? Is it a reason like Fatal Attraction, that movie? What is the reason? And that's the scary part. And that's why I say you see tons and tons of people that dive in, they get married and they don't want to be married. Now, for the first time in my life, just yesterday, because those two are starting to be friendly again, Brad Pitt and Jennifer Aniston, and they're starting to be friendly again. And I wonder what the hell happened with Angela Jolie and Brad. And I heard stuff here off and on, but I never looked into it. So I looked into it last night, and basically, like, I kind of understand it. A lot of people were mad at Jennifer because she had a history of, you know, catching feelings with guys that she was on the set with, and most of these men were married. So, of course, right away, you're going to be wrong if you're going after a married man and you're a woman and you wreck his family and everything. So I just wanted to study everything because I see beyond the obvious. So by the time she met Brad, something was going wrong with Brad and Jennifer anyway. From what I could get for the information, I'm not saying who's right or wrong. That's not my purpose. But something was already going wrong between them two anyway. But Brad had a lot of hidden, even though Brad appears to be a great guy, Brad had a lot of hidden demons he carries. So he didn't really, at that moment in time, Jennifer said she wanted to work on it, and he didn't. And then once he had Angela Jolie, she was like the spark of the fire, and that was it. But as much as you want to say, oh, Angela Jolie is a hoe and she's a house wrecker, she really wanted a real relationship. She wanted a family and everything. That's why I say you, like, I'm not God, so I'm not trying to judge nobody. But you could see she really did want it though. Even in those other men that broke up with her, it was for different reasons. But in each of those cases, it seemed like she really wanted a man, she really wanted a husband, and she really wanted a family. And and like her ethnic group, they are all about family and big families and stuff. So with her and Brad, it was going for a while. Like with her and Brad, it was more. See, I know about twin flames and soulmates and stuff. With her and Brad, it just seemed like it was more connected, more meant to be than Brad and Jennifer. I'm not saying Brad and Jennifer didn't have something special, but with Jolie, you could see it. Like once I saw the thing and saw the evidence and stuff, they really did have something. Now, like I said, Brad had a lot of demons though, and and I think Jolie saw that, and I think at first she wanted to work on it, but I think his drinking got really out of hand, and then I don't know what it was, and they kind of tried to water it down. It looked like, and I don't know exactly what it is, but I know how it is when you're drinking. What can happen? So I think Angela saw that, and she wanted nothing to do with him after that, and she didn't want him to see the kids or nothing, because those kids are mostly adopted. One of those might be his. I'm not sure. But those kids were, and she didn't want him to have nothing to do with the kids, and she reported him. And so they claimed they investigated, and they said it was really unwarranted or something. But he did get investigated. But one thing he did, he held himself responsible for his mistakes or whatever, which a lot of people don't do. So anybody that admits they're wrong, I'll give them credit because a lot of people won't do that. And so she's really fighting against it. And it was sweet because he still one of those kids though, which is sweet, because that was really Angelina's idea, was to get all those kids. But Brad still wanted to be in their lives, and she was like, no, you don't need to be in their lives. And she was trying to kick him out. He was still trying to be in there, which was pretty cool. And so she really wants nothing to do with him. But see, you don't know the whole story. I think she's protecting those kids more than anything. Because you could say, well, maybe she's just being bitter, because some women get bitter and they use the kids as a weapon. But I think she really is trying to protect them. She really did not want him to see those kids. So I don't know what happened. And whenever you hear like Hollywood, you already have an idea. But in this case, I think it was a little bit different. It might have been something drinking related or something. And I don't know what it was, but I know but they did say they investigated it and couldn't find anything. So I don't know. I don't know. And I remember I used to watch TV, and somebody made a movie. They were in a movie that Brad Pitt was the star, and they actually witnessed to him. Like they went up to him and preached to him about Jesus. And they said, right after that, they got fired because somebody came up to him. But they said when they was talking to him, he was listening. They said he was nice about it. Like, he didn't get mad at them. But I think he went and told somebody, like, well, this person's on the set, preaching their religion. And I think it's unprofessional. So the person got fired and shit. But I agree with that. Like, you can't really, like, I've been doing this for a long time. And I've learned a lot since I've been on this planet, is that, you got to respect other people. You got to be professional. You got to respect other people's belief system, whether you agree with it or not. Now, what was the purpose of me bringing this out? Well, everything happens for a reason, but I'm trying to tell you the difference between like soulmates and twin flames and stuff like that. And whatever he did, it left a distaste, and she just didn't have nothing to do with him or nothing. So now him and Jennifer are at least talking. But most people were happy. Some people were going, Jennifer, do not get back with Brad because he left you. He publicly, disrespected you and stuff like that. But I don't know. Each person got to make their own choice and shit. I think sometimes stars don't realize how powerful they are in a good way because they worry too much about celebrity and shit. Me personally, I would like to see Brad and Jennifer come out and say, hey, we found Jesus and we're back together. Then that's what I would like to see. But hey, you can't get everything right. But I don't have no hate for Angeline, because after I watched that, I actually have respect for her, because I had never studied her before. But I know her ethnic race and stuff, and I know how they are. They're very family oriented. But to me, she's just a girl in Hollywood looking for love, like as crazy as that sounds. But no, I don't agree with home wrecking and shit like that. But like I said, I'm a lot older now. I'm a lot more mature. Shit happens. All right, let's move on. Let's move on. Let's move on. So now you're Capricorn, because in my opinion, we've already covered the mother. Well, let's do the mother. Let's do the mother. Let's do the family. Where's your true north node? In Scorpio. So no matter how you're looking at it, you're dealing with death and rebirth, and it's going to be some light being shined, some type of exposure. Also, you have to be careful, because whenever you're dealing with Uranus and Scorpio, you are dealing with technology. So you have to be careful as well. Might be power outages. And they don't have to be big. That's why I said I have to be very clear. A bulb might go out. Watch the automobile. And remember, this is I'm saying from January 1st all the way to the full moon in February. Power outage, any type of power outage, any type of technological glitches or whatever. And also, even now with this Aquarius moon is coming in 2 days, they're saying things from the past might come up. People from the past might come up. But even Aquarius is ruled by Uranus. So it's still the same energy. And anything that's considered strange or supernatural could be coming up at this time. But here's the situation. But mother will be involved. Now, I already explained the astrological definition of mother. But either way, your mother is always there. Whether you got along, whether you didn't get along, whether she's no longer alive or whatever, she's still there. I'll give you a perfect example. Perfect example happened this morning. Now, a lot's going on. When I woke up this morning, it was one of them things where, I'm out of it. Literally out of it. Because I've just been working. So I get outside, I get up, I walk outside, I go outside to get some air, and my neighbors that tried their best to start drama with me, but God fought for me, and they got their asses kicked, and embarrassed. So they were out there, kind of out there, so they see me or whatever, and whatever. I don't really care. Come back inside and whatever. I'm still out of it though, really am. And so I hear my mother talking, and she's talking about my younger sister's birthday, the numbers. Now, my younger sister's birthday is the same date of death of my older sister. So my older sister has a very strong, powerful, always there presence. So now this is where the supernatural steps in. So this is right after I hear the numbers and stuff like that. And I had just seen those numbers on the microwave. So I don't know if something's being planned for that date. It's next month. I really don't know. So now there's this little doll that I think somebody in my family, I don't really remember, but I think they were in Jamaica. So they brought this doll back. So normally that doll used to hang over the power box. Now keep in mind I just told you about technology and electricity and stuff like that. So that doll always hung over the power box, the fuse box. Now, every now and then the sun will shine through the back door window, and it's a very unique angle. And when the sun shines over that dial, it'll shine over the love, because it's a Jamaican dial. It says love, peace on it, on his shirt. It'll shine over that part of the dial. It'll say love, peace. Which, it's not easy for that to happen. We going back to those strange communication. But it's just like when somebody dies, and at the moment somebody dies, the clock stops. Like when my mother was going through whatever she was going through earlier, the hallway light wouldn't come on. Would not come on. So these are warning signs that you can sometimes see. But you also have to be careful because, you know, these are the same people that call you crazy enough as it is. So you don't want to go, oh, wait a minute. You know, oh, wait a minute. The light won't come on. Be careful. Because they're looking at you like you're a nut. Even if you're right, like they're going to still look at you like you're a nut. So every move you make, you have to think about it. And usually these things happen when you feel horrible. Like that's the last thing you want to do. You've been up all night. You want to go to bed. Now you got to worry about somebody else. Why are they rolling? You know, what the hell's going on? So these things happen, and you got to be very careful with all of it. And then when the people get here, like the last time, I had to call 911. Not this time, but the time before it, I had to call 911. And when those people got here, they were some of the most meanest people in the world. They were blaming me for every fucking thing under the sun and shit. You know, it's my fault. And I'm trying to tell her, no, she's hard-headed, she don't listen. Blah, blah. Oh, yeah. So they was in my neck. They was all in my neck. And then it was funny because, you know, the moment she woke up, she was like, oh, no, he takes care of me and shit. I was like, man, she's so much different because she would have been one of the people telling me I was wrong and shit, like when she was younger. Now that she's older, she's like, oh, no, he takes care of me. And I hate being accused of shit I didn't do. So I was in there duking it out I was with the police officer was talking shit. I was talking shit back to him. The medical staff, they came in talking shit. I was talking shit back to them. Like, you ain't gonna come up in here and disrespect me. I don't care. But you got to be careful because people do get killed because of shit like that. So that's all what I'm trying to say. That's all Uranus and all that. All that. So anyway, so that happened right after she said the numbers of the birthday, which is really a day of death. But remember, when you're dealing with Scorpio energy, that's death and rebirth. Or Pluto energy is death and rebirth. So as soon as she said that, the sun came through and shined. Because she moved the dial. Because my mom's is always obstructing shit. So she moved the dial because she wanted that. She got a picture. She loves Barack Obama. She's got a calendar of him. So she put that on the fuse box and moved the other dial. And it's been sitting over there by itself for the most part. But that day, today, it shined. And it did it again. That sun went right across that dial. It said love and peace. And it was right after she said my younger sister's birthday, which is my older sister's day of death. And that light came over. So once again, you're seeing the technological, you're seeing the sun, you're seeing all the metaphysics and all the mysteries of astrology. And I called her to see it, my mother to see it, and then she acted like she didn't even want to come see it. And then I was like, Mom, I said, why is it taking you so long to just walk from one room to the other one? And she's like, oh, yeah. So then she looks, and then she had to look at it though. Because first she looked at it, but she didn't really care. So she looked and she didn't look. Then she started looking at it, and then she started saying, oh, yeah. Then she noticed it. So that goes back to what I'm saying. So many people are so caught up in this third dimensional that they can't see the metaphysics. They can't see the greatness of God and the greatness of rebirth and nothing. So it took her a minute to see it, and she finally sees it. Because a lot of times I try to show her stuff like that, and she'll go, you know, you and this stuff, you know, you're always into this stuff, this crazy stuff. So, but every now and then, now that she's older, she can see a lot of shit she couldn't see before. She'll go like, oh, yeah, I see that. Like one time I picked her up from the train station, and it was at night. And all of a sudden, I looked up in the sky. We were almost home. And there was a light up there going crazy, like following us. It was like going crazy. I said, Mana, you see that? So she like, yeah, I guess I see it. And I was like, then I said, she's not going to believe me. I said, never mind, don't worry about it, Mom. Then she said, no, I really do see it. So this light was up in the sky. And what I'm trying to tell y'all is, you know, pretty obviously what the light was. That's not what I'm trying to tell you, though. So I came home, I dropped her off, she went in the house. So I'm out there, I'm looking at this light. I'm in the car, and I'm riding around in the neighborhood looking at this light and shit. So then when I parked my car, that light actually stopped in front of our house. Now keep in mind, I live in a neighborhood of hundreds and hundreds of houses. So why would this light up in the sky that we saw coming back from the train station, why would it stop in front of my house? It's right at the front door. And it's just out there. I'm like, Mom, that light is right outside the front door, like up above and shit. So she came and looked again. She said, yeah, you and that. She said, you and that, no, that stuff, that crazy stuff. So she walked away and shit. And then light was, but it was like a drone. But what I'm saying, why did it have to end up over my house and shit? And I never saw that drone again because I figured this is like right after Christmas or something. Not this year, but last year. So I'm figuring if you bought a drone for Christmas, how come that's the only night I saw it? We've never seen that drone ever again. So that was some weird ass shit. So I'm telling you all that because these and similar things are what people say, and I'm trying to give people examples because right away people go, I haven't seen anything. I don't know what he's talking about. Oh no, everything's the same. And I'm telling you, there's no way in the world everything's the same. It's just that you're not perceiving it. You're choosing to be like a person who don't want to be bothered unless it's an immediate gratification for them. And these are the people that use astrology. What about me? What about what about what about what about what about this? What about that? What about me? Because they don't give a fuck what the universe is talking about. But unfortunately, you're gonna start to see more and more universal messages making their presence known. That's why you better learn it because it's going to be your reality for 2020. Because I'm trying to tell you these portals, so-called gateways, these portals also called gateways are opening. And remember, what Valentine's Day is a big portal opening. Always has been. This is why it's associated with love and all kind of stuff. Oh, and that day that was a big day yesterday. Michelle Knight gave an unbelievable prophecy about love and all that. I couldn't believe it. I said, man, this is a Michelle. But she also gave a warning, and I didn't listen to her though, because it was something in me that was like, I gotta try to help this. This it's a female that's been locked up since 2012, so I went out of my way to see if she can get an early release, and that was my whole day yesterday. But that goes all the way back to 2012. So Michelle Knight she was like, yeah, something from your past is coming back, and she was warning me not to get involved in shit. But hey, I wouldn't be me if I didn't go against the grain, and I love it. So that video I never released. Well, it's still audio. I never made it into a video. All right. So once again, True North Node is all about the mother, and not just all about the mother. It's the mother in the second house, but the family. See, Cancer is about family, friends, teenage to adult education, land, property, or real estate, vehicles, and travel. The mother, and also your subconscious mind of Imom Coeli. So this is going on wherever your true north node is, and yours is in Scorpio. So that's why I'm telling you, it is going to be some type of rebirth, some type of connection. Sometimes people are going through old stuff and find something, but it is going on, whether you realize it or not. And what I'm trying to tell you, whatever you see that you think has a small reason, there's a bigger reason behind it. There's a bigger reason behind it. Uranus is coming out of nowhere. Something suddenly happening. Yours is 323. 23 is a Sirius constellation. I just did a video on that, all about the Sirius constellation. Now that video is unlisted. Main thing, it was unlisted. It was somebody else's chart, but it was too reminiscent of my whole twin flame experience, and I didn't feel like reliving it. Which I had to relive it through the video, but I didn't feel like reliving it. So 23 is usually like the Sirius constellation, and that's up in the sky every night. In fact, I was riding around last night because I had to make a stop. It was like 2 a.m. in the morning, and I believe that was Sirius out there then in the west, the southwest. And 3 is the Empress, which is either Venus energy, but it could also be the third house. And that's exactly where your Cancer is, third house. So that's what I'm saying. All this is going on Now, going to your third house, Mars is at 2 degrees, which could be couple energy or moon energy or the high priestess. But again, this could be some type of a combat, because I don't have a better word, some type of combat or some type of energy push. But again, that's your communication house. So that's what I'm trying to say. So all this is going on inside of you, whether you know it or not. Because both Scorpio deals with the subconscious mind, just like Pisces and Neptune do. And your Neptune is also in your eighth house. So this is definitely like relatives and stuff coming towards you. And if you've had any type of teenage connections or younger one connections, it could be that too. But like I said, always be careful, because just because somebody comes to you and says, "Hey, I'm your Uncle Dave," it doesn't mean that's your Uncle Dave. See, that's why you have to learn how to be spiritually discerning. And this is like I try to tell people, this is the stuff you should be learning. Because when you watch TV, they keep showing you all these movies about Return of the Dead and all these zombies walking around and shit. So whether that happens physically or through these portals, it's still going to happen. Now, when you're ready for it, you'll be better inclined to deal with it. But when you're not ready for it, then what happens is when it starts to happen, you're going to be like, ah! And you'll be running looking for answers, but it's like you're already going to be crazy. Because I get that a lot. People come running to me, and the first thing I'm going to tell them is calm the fuck down. I don't give a fuck what you saw. Calm the fuck down. This is a supernatural world. But if you're ready for it, you'll know how to handle it to a certain degree. Like somebody, you're still like you might get a little scared. I'm not saying I wouldn't be scared, but I wouldn't be fucking hope not lose my mind. The only way I would lose my mind is that thing came at me like something. I'm like, ah. Other than that, I'm like, I don't see, I don't heard it, I don't seen it. It's things you can do, and like I said, especially on YouTube, a lot of there's plenty of videos on how to deal with energies and stuff like that. You need to be getting ready. That's why when you see these people that are shamans and stuff like that, that's why they be having on crystals and shit like that, because they're ready for the supernatural. Don't wait till it happens, because you're gonna be terrified. And even if somebody's trying to help you, you're not gonna be listening. Because that goes back to bubblegum astrology. Those type of people, they just want it now. Oh, something. I stop it now. I want it to stop now. Because they don't care nothing about the universe. Don't care jack of them dilly squat. They just want what they want when they want it. The five senses people: sight, touch, smell, hear, and I guess the other ones talk. If they don't have, and taste or whatever. If they don't have that, they don't care. But when the supernatural comes in, it will be coming. You just got to be ready for it. Because like I said, with me, I say citizen of the universe. So that means I claim every right to be here than anybody else. No different than a planet. No different than a star. Anybody else is allowed to be here. I claim the same right, the equal right, citizen of the universe. And I've been approached by UFOs, and they went the other way, and that's real talk. They went the other way. They was coming right at me. I just stood there. I like citizen of the universe, and then one went east, another one went west. But if you don't believe that stuff and you see something, to me, I think that's how people get adopted, because you're scared. That's anywhere you go. If you're scared, people are gonna take advantage of you. So that's what you're looking at here. All this stuff is coming up. So it's portals. The mother is the theme. The mother will always be the theme. Like when you understand the supernatural, just because you lay somebody to rest doesn't mean they're really gone. Just like I just showed you the presence of my sister today. And I know for a fact, anytime something's wrong with my mother, she pops up. Always. Because they were very close. They were more like sisters than they were mother and daughter. So I'm just trying to take my time to get this out so people can understand, because you got to learn how to think these things out. Because I'm telling you, things are happening. When people say, "Oh, nothing really happened," nothing, yeah, it is. You're not allowing your spiritual discernment to help you. Then there's other people that say, well, I don't want to see the supernatural stuff, so I don't really want it to. Well, like you don't have to if you don't want to, but it's still going to happen. And then it's like people getting ready to rob your house, and your house is being surrounded by these people getting ready to rob your house, but you're oh, I don't want to look out the window. Oh, I heard a noise, but I'm not going to check it out. Oh no, I don't care. I don't want. I'm too busy. And then once they're in your house, you're help me. And then people are looking at you like, yo. And then that's when you get taken advantage of, because you're not gonna meet somebody like me that's gonna try to help you. You're gonna meet somebody that's gonna see an opportunity. Yeah, $400, and then you'll pay it because you're scared to death, but you're still gonna have problems afterwards. You're gonna be out of like a good amount of money, and the problem's still not gonna be going. So remember, I told you about technology and stuff like that, or electricity, and your true north node is 21 degrees. So again, past life karma is going to be karmic. And in some ways, like even I don't know if a person is alive or dead. I'll be totally honest with you. But what I'm seeing is either way, if mama's still alive in the flesh, she's still passing to something. And it doesn't necessarily have to be bad. And if mama has moved on, she's still passing to something, because you see that moon going right into your eighth house of Sagittarius. Now Sagittarius is higher learning, belief systems, but it's also communications with Neptune. See, when you see Neptune and Sagittarius, this is a person that's connected to everything, all over, on planet Earth, in other dimensions, in other worlds, up in space. This person's connected, and if they dream vividly, they see it like that. That's the type of person. Like I always say, have a dream journal if you care, because a lot of information is coming through your dreams. And believe me, this chart on the right, they would really be good in psychic. Like what you see on YouTube when you watch those people, they got all crystals and all that, or they got the necklaces on, or even the bracelets and the rings and stuff like that. They're deep into it. This person will be good at that. But sometimes you just don't want all that. Cause like I said, my best friend, that's how she would have been. She probably would have been one of the greatest psychics and stuff on planet Earth. But she has no call. Like all that stuff, I think she's done it before. She has no calling for none of that. But the thing she wanted, she didn't get, and that's what I always tried to tell her. Like you really gave up all your spiritual stuff for like a career and all that, and then you can't even work a career because you're too sick. I mean, to the point, like she really like. If you wanted to say she's like the Walking Dead, that would not be a lie. That would not be like a far fetched lie. She really like Walking Dead, but she was still trying to work anyway, and that's when they finally had to tell her you can't work. But even now, she's not. She doesn't. I think most of the stuff she does is spend like with her family and stuff, like her children, because she tried religion and she got the same thing most people get. Like anytime a good person goes into a church or something, it's the same thing what happened to Joseph when his brothers tried to kill him and shit. And that's what they really did her dirty. They did her really dirty because she married a guy. And he was like a nut job, but he was highly psychic. Like he was an infat, and he was highly psychic, but he was into drugs and everything. So he would beat her up and stuff like that. And then when she would tell the church what he did, the church would say to her, "Well, he's our organ player. Like we're not gonna do anything because he's our organ player." So they knew, the church knew that he was beating her up, and the church still let him be the organ player and still a member of the church, an approved member of the church, because they weren't going to do anything because he played the music for them. So that's what I mean about fake spirituality, or that's like the lowest level of spirituality, because that's when you allow sin to occur and you don't care and you'll cover it up, or you might be the preacher but you're cheating on your wife, and she knows that she ain't gonna do nothing because she's making money off of you, and like that's just the lowest level of spirituality and shit. All right. So whatever it is, that Mars energy is either going to bring some type of drama in these areas, or give energy to make this transit go through. Now your true north node is 21 degrees, which is Saturn energy. That's the world card, and it is about endings. But for every ending, there's some type of new birth. So that Saturn energy in your fourth house, and that's also 2 degrees, which I always thought was your father. Because usually when you have Saturn in the family, that the fourth house is the family. I always thought that was your father. So he's always been a part of this karmic journey, one way or another, good or bad. Good or bad, he's always been a part of it. And it's the same thing. It's the same thing I'm telling you is whether the person is alive or dead, there's still some type of transition going on. And like I said, even when my mother fell out, uh, that was some type of transition probably for her as well, because she fell out right with the full moon. And the only reason why she fell out is because her doctor, for some strange reason, he thinks she's high glucose, high sugar, or high blood glucose, and she's not. So he'll prescribe her medication for it, and then when she takes it, she goes into a coma. She passes out. And I try to help. Like, y'all gotta understand, I try to help. I'm there, but these people are gonna do what the fuck they want to. And I finally learned that. I'm getting too old. Like, I can't deal with this crazy shit no more. Because you'll go through the whole process. And I was shocked. I was proud of her though. I said, "Well, mom, go get your meter." And I figured I was gonna hear the same old bullshit. I don't know where. I don't know. I think. Be like, "Mom, shut up. I'm sick of hearing this bullshit." No, I don't say that, but that's what I'm feeling. Like, shut the hell up. Like, this is the same bullshit. But she had it. She had the meter. I was shocked. I couldn't believe she had the freaking meter. No, because you don't know how much I work and work and work, and it comes back to the same bullshit all the fucking time, bro. It's so depressing. But you gotta, it's life though. Like, some people need that drama. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Like, my best friend, she had to go through all this, everything she's been through. Because she's hard headed too. You try to tell her, she thinks she knows everything. And I get pissed off, cause like, I hate when I know when you're trying to tell me, and she talks to me like I ain't shit. Like, my best friend will talk to me like I'm like, stupid. I used to talk to her on the phone and she just hang up the phone on me, and I used to hate that. Do not fucking hang up the phone when I'm talking. I be talking to her, she go click and shit. Like, what the fuck is shit? So this is planet Earth, and the faster you believe it, I mean, the faster you receive it, you won't drive yourself crazy, because these people are gonna believe what they want to, do what they want to, and through all the fuckery and the craziness, there's this guy that's like right there with them. Like, lets it go down, and you see it in Job chapter 1 and 2. Out of all the people he could have tested and destroyed or whatever he did, why pick the most righteous person? This person lived a life of righteousness. So out of everybody to bully, why pick him? And you see this all the time. So the more you learn how to just breathe and realize, it is what it is. Learn how to find your own happiness through all this craziness. You're better off. Because if you think you're gonna change this and change that, you ain't changing shit. This is why they gave you the book of Ecclesiastic. Because that's what he says in the book of Ecclesiastic. It was supposed to be a book of wisdom. He tells you, man, you ain't changing nothing. This world's gonna do what the freak it wants to. He said, even if you change something, the person that comes after you is just gonna change it back anyway. So that's why he goes, it's vanity. It's vanity. And striving after the wind. Like, why would you waste so much time on a vain situation where these people are gonna do what they want to, and it's just wasting. It's striving after the wind. You're gonna lose it anyway. And there's a lot of wisdom in that, because once you learn how to breathe, your health will get better. Because if you don't learn how to breathe, then you're gonna be getting crazy. You're mad at these people and all that, and then you'll be the one dying, and they'll still be around. They'll still be doing the same crazy stuff they were doing that you were complaining, and you're dead, and then they're still living around. So it is what it is. And it's not really, it's a realization, not a frustration. Even if you say, oh, he sounds frustrated, not really. It's a realization, not a frustration. It was a frustration before when I was trying to change it. Now it's a realization. You just breathe and let it go. It's like somebody telling you, I'm going outside to play with dynamite. Okay, have fun, and just say a prayer. And when you hear the boom, you go, okay, I hope they're okay. And if not, that's the whole experience of going to the hospital and everybody, the cops will pull up and start yelling at me again, and the medical people will pull up and start yelling at me again, and I just have to just okay, yeah, okay, just smile, okay. All right. So I'm just saying, because I already explained all this full moon stuff, the eighth house. So that's in that video. She has it, but it's still going to be some type of thing between the family and the job. But what I'm trying to tell y'all is it's a portal as well. And I really don't know what to tell you guys, because it's always been a mentality where they say the job comes first. The job comes first. But I don't think God agrees with that. But if you're afraid, you're not going to challenge that. And I don't know how far you can challenge it, because it is a job and you are supposed to be there and you are supposed to do your job and blah blah blah. But things change. Like a lot, there's always going to be challenges. See, now my doctor, I've had the same doctor for many years, but he never likes to fill out paperwork, because really I qualify for disability. This shit's just fucked up. That's just the way it is. And he messed me up too, because he misprescribed me, and my left leg is messed up because of some shit he put me on, and I'm still trying to get healing now. So I look at all this stuff and I realize, like I said, there is a God. Like, nobody could ever convince me there's not a God. That's just stupid. But it is what it is. So that's why we're trying to tell you. You might look at one person and see something, and you might look at somebody else and see something else, and you're wondering that how do those two exist in the same plane, the same planet, or whatever you want to call it. But God has a purpose for everything. And that's what the scriptures teach you, is that everything on this planet has a purpose. Like when you see a bug or something, you think, oh, that little ass bug, I don't care. But that bug has a purpose too. And that bug has every right to do whatever it's doing as you do. And the scriptures tell you that God is aware of everything. So you just have a humbling effect. And that's why you really can't teach everybody one thing, because everybody has a different journey. So when you do teach, it has to be kind of all-inclusive. That's why I said I'm not going to say, oh, Angela Jolie, she had a history of wrecking homes. That didn't, call her a bad name and stuff like that. Because when I study it, I see a woman, probably when you're lonely, you don't want to be lonely. And really, the person you should really blame is the man that cheated on his wife, not her. And I know temptation can be very hard. No pun intended. But if my girl, I'm single, but if I would blame her. I wouldn't blame the guy. The only way I would have a problem with him if he was talking shit about it, or he was talking shit about me, then I would have a problem with him. But I wouldn't blame him because I would blame her. I didn't have an agreement with him. I had an agreement with her. And sometimes things like that need to happen because you need to know if a person is going to be faithful or not. And in most cases, I hate to tell you this, but in most cases, people are not going to be faithful. That's a small minority of people that could go through stuff like that and stay faithful. So like I said, it's a lot of reality checks on this planet, because you get a lot of idealism, but it's bullshit. But that's Neptune. So yeah, be careful of your Neptune, because Neptune's a liar. He's a deceiver. He's the one that gave you the 12th house, and he's the one that gave you religion and all that other stuff. And all that stuff is helpful. It's helpful, but it's not the truth. It's not the full truth. And the funny thing about Sagittarius, she does kind of look for the truth to a certain degree, but she can get stuck up on belief systems too. So if I was going to warn you on anything on your chart for this full moon reading, watch what you believe. Watch your belief system, because with Neptune there, it's based on bullshit. And also Sagittarius also is a belief system, and for some reason that moon there is there. So some people may have, anybody that has this on their natal chart, you may have like a motherly figure trying to get you to believe something that's not necessarily true, or they may be trying to fight you against a belief system that's not true. You might be in love with somebody that doesn't deserve it, because that's why Mars is helping Mama over here. But this is all going on in the third house, and this is like an immature house too. And both the third house and the ninth house are about publishing and belief systems. So Mars might be in there trying to either help you believe something or trying to teach you not to believe it. But I know the number 2 is the high priestess, which is the moon energy. And many, many times she's more interested in bringing you two together. She's not as interested in keeping you two together. Because many times, a lot of people don't know that about the high priestess, but many times she's just out to satisfy herself. And that's why sometimes you meet like that female I'm talking about at my job. Because it's a couple of females at my job that are like soulmates. But the other one I don't really see that much no more. Because she works, like when I'm coming to work, she's leaving. I mean, when I'm leaving work, she's coming. But her, it's different. Because I have more like the feeling I get from her from my intuition, it's more like a father-daughter thing with her. And just how I remember when it first started. It first started about 2 years ago. And the other one, to be honest with y'all, that's one of those ones that could turn into hot passion if there weren't a lot of differences between me and her. And like I said, I'm not the same person I was, say, 30 years ago. But if I was, it probably would be like unbelievable hot passion. Now, so you're seeing this between your third house, where Cancer is, and your 8th house, where Sagittarius is some type of battle going on with a belief system or publishing or something you're being influenced by. So I would strongly tell you to make sure I'm not just going to say the truth. Like an old version of me would have said, make sure it's the truth. But the version I am now, it says, make sure it's the truth for you at that particular time. Because I really believe all that stuff is relative now. But me, I'm a traditional Leo, and we're all about the heart. So for me, my heart that I had at 5 is the same heart that I have now. I'm not gonna let this planet change that shit, because this planet just seems to love to take you to the limits and kind of fuck with you. And I've seen it on too many natal charts. I've talked to too many people, and I've had people agree with me. Say you're the first person to admit it. I did this one guy's natal chart. I said, man, they're fucking with you. I said they got you, and like you always miss it by that much. And he said, you're right. He said you're 100% right. He said you're the first person to ever admit it. I said, yeah, I know. I said it's like when you got power, sometimes you play with it. You play, and that's what they're kind of doing. And if you read Job chapter 1 and 2, that's exactly what they did. They made that man question everything: truth, justice, God. Why am I here? They really fuck with that dude in Job. And they can say, well, we're higher than you guys, and we know more than you do, and I don't go for it. I go, no, you're not. And you might be higher than me, and you might think I don't know. Right now, I just see fuckery, and I'm going to call it what I see. But that's why I say I'm always going to go against the grain. I've always been that way. But that's why I'm respected, though. That's what I'm trying to tell you. That's why, maybe not by humans, because humans don't get it. But I'm respected higher all over. It's just the way it is. Like some people, if you ever watch them, that's what I'm trying to tell you. Like they go outside and all of a sudden somebody just pulls up. A car just comes out of nowhere and just stops in the middle of the fucking street. As soon as you walk out and stuff, there's a reason for that. Or you're going to it's 3 o'clock in the morning. You're going to like a store that stays open 24 hours a day, and out of nowhere, some truck comes pulling up behind you, all crazy and all that, and then he dives into the parking space you were about to get, and then you get out the car and then he's just standing there like he's looking for a fight. You don't even know this guy. Like what the fuck? And I'm looking at this guy like, dude, I'll kill you. Like I don't care. I do not care about you. I don't care about your truck. Leave me alone. I don't want to talk to you. I don't know why you're here. It's just some weird ass shit. So I see stuff like that all the freaking time. So obviously somebody is watching you. Somebody cares. You can call it whatever you want. But I'm going to tell you again, in the Matrix, they made sure they let him know, you're in the Matrix. We're in control of this. And whatever reality you see is not a real reality. And that's why I don't just go to a movie and watch it for entertainment. Like a lot of those movies are trying to tell you what's really going on. And that's why I'm trying to tell you about the whole Walking Dead shit. Because they're letting you know that portals are being opened and this shit is coming your way. So you can either believe it, don't believe it. But you be smart to believe it and get ready for it. And I ain't talking about grabbing a rifle like they did in a movie and blowing people's heads off and shit. You got to get ready for it spiritually, emotionally, mentally inside of it, because it's all about portals that are opening, and that's what those 13 moons are about, and that's what the Book of Revelation chapter 9 is about. All right, so there you have it. So all this is still going on because it's karmic. So a lot of times somebody dies and you think, well, now they're dead, I don't have to deal with it anymore. Or a couple break up, well, they're going, I don't have to deal with it anymore. But you do have to deal with it. Like I said, again with Brad Pitt, there's a reason why he's going back to Jennifer one way or another. Because they may or may not get back together. Who the hell knows? But she said she would have worked on it the first time. That doesn't mean she would work on it now, but it kind of looks like she would. But sometimes it's just to tell a person, I'm sorry. I know I failed you and stuff like that and whatever. And I would want to hear it. You know, who wouldn't want to hear it? You have people that want to make. You have people that want to be mad their whole life. Oh, fuck you, Brad. You left me. You left me for. How could you? And that's part of it. That's part of it. But see, Jennifer's tough. That's why her and Ellen get along so good, because both of those are tough. Like, they have a strange way of looking at shit that's horrible and having like a cynical sense of humor towards it. They got skill in that area. And like Jennifer will look at Brad and like, you know, all men are dogs, but they're men, you know. He's just a little boy inside. And then the mother side of Jennifer will kind of help him and forgive him. Where most women will go, how can you even look at that piece of shit for what he did to you? But you know, I'd rather heal somebody. I'd rather try to help where I can, as long as they're not trying to take advantage of me. I'd rather help them and heal them than to just sit there and put them down and put them down and put them down. Because they already feel like shit. That's why he's drinking all the time and stuff. And he's made so many mistakes. But at least he's trying to handle them like a man. So that's why I would like to. That's why I told you I would like to see Jennifer and Brad open up a healing center for people. You know, and I would like to see. And I know that ain't gonna happen. But I would like to see them heal Jolie too. I'm more into the healing. I'm not into the stupid shit. That's just stupid. Oh, I'm gonna get you back because in 30 years ago, why did you do this to me? I'm gonna get you. If it takes me my whole life, like Merkel's father said, the next time she sees me, I'll be dead. Like, come on, dude. Whatever happened, I don't know what happened, but you know, it's still your daughter. You know. All right. So it's still some four. It's still gonna be some fourth house family stuff going on. And remember, the fourth house is not just family, it's teenage to adult education, land, property, real estate, vehicles and travel, your health, mother and your subconscious mind, Imun Coeli. And in your case, that Saturn is some type of father figure, also at 2 degrees, just like your Mars. So that stuff, in my opinion, that stuff is still going on. But I think you hold a lot of stuff in. So you can't get healing if you hide stuff and you. But that's Scorpio. Scorpio's always trying to hide something. But see, you got a sun in Scorpio, so it's not gonna let you hide it. It's gonna bring it out. So you got to get to the point where you really start to deal with it, whether to whoever, professional, whoever you're gonna. But you gotta bring it out. Now, when you look over here, Saturn is in Capricorn. So the career, because that's what happens sometimes. Because what God has got to do, this is what he did in Jonah chapter 4. He gave Jonah that tree. Because that's all Jonah had, was that tree. So that tree made him feel good and everything. And then God struck it. Right after he made him feel good, he struck it. So God will bring it out. In your case, it may be be through Capricorn. Because even your Capricorn, 23 degrees again, serious energy, and 4, which is that Aries. And in my opinion, that Aries energy is similar to that Saturn energy and your Leo in the 4th house. Kind of like an aggression. It's also, because we already know it's connected, because I said this to you before. It's the same thing in the Mars energy in Cancer. So it is some type of aggression. And then you see it in your medium Coeli, number 4. Because once again, once again, you got to deal with it. It's something you got to deal with. And the Capricorn. And remember, Saturn rules Capricorn. So this full moon is, in my opinion, it's the initial stages, because you got to deal with this. You can't run from it. The universe is not going to let you run from it. Like, I'm just going to tell you something. A long time ago, when I used to watch a lot of cable TV, HBO and Showtime, I don't remember which one it was, but it was this man, and he was a rapist. So he had finally got this woman alone or whatever. So he was going to rape her. So at first, she was scared. But then some part of her said, don't give him that satisfaction. Because he wants you to be scared. He wants you to be afraid. Do not give him that satisfaction. So she began to act like she wanted it. Like, whatever. This is what you do. You like to rape women? Here, take it. Go ahead. It's all you. Whatever you take it. She just began to act like she just go ahead and take it. And then he became like he couldn't do nothing because he loved to rape and have the power over his victims. And once she didn't give him that satisfaction, he couldn't do shit. He turned into like a little boy and something. Like he couldn't do shit to her. So a lot of stuff in this universe is the same way. You can't be afraid of it. You got to face it. You got to face those fears. And then that's when you get your power back. So to me, that's what all these full moons and stuff are going to mean to you, is facing whatever you're trying to hide as a Scorpio. The Scorpio wants to take all that stuff and put it in the 8th house or whatever, put it wherever Scorpio is, wherever, and hide it. But in your 8th house, you got Sagittarius, which is about seeking truth and bringing it out. And then Neptune is helping through your dreams and stuff like that. And see, like I said, you got to be careful because Neptune, like somebody will say, oh, I had a happy family. Oh, my family was happy. And I look at the natal chart, I'll be like, no, you didn't. No, you didn't tell the truth. And I'm not saying it's better happy. I'm just giving this as an example. But you got to deal with it in order for you to move on and heal. So they get at you through the career. That's why your Capricorn is also with your medium coeli is very close to your true north node. So you still got a lot of 4th house and Saturn and Mars stuff to heal from. And believe me, you really can get full healing. Because like I said, I'm glad that Jennifer is giving Brad the opportunity to tell her, I'm sorry. I'm glad she's getting it. You should. Because why carry that your whole life? Plus, a lot of times we're there when it happens and we don't want to admit it. But something was going on there with him. And if you really look at it, if you're a drunk, it's probably not even Jennifer. It's you. You're mad at yourself. You're a freaking drunk. But you're taking it out on her. And again, nobody's perfect. Maybe she did do something. Who the hell knows? But now at least he's man enough to say, I'm sorry. Which is, to me, that's a start. And maybe one day him and Jolie will heal. Because I think him and Jolene had something that was deeper. I think him and Jolene had a deeper soul connection. And when you're in a soul family, because we love to say twin flames, and sometimes they're not. Maybe they are, maybe they're not. I'm just saying, I don't know what it was. I haven't seen the natal charts, but he definitely had a deeper soul connection with Jolie. But her ethnicity, they're soul people anyway. They're very soul people, so they're definitely going to take you to levels you ain't never seen before. Hey, y'all heard that that J Lo ain't getting along with Shakira? I think that shit is so fucking funny. Because J-Lo is Jenny from the Bronx. She ain't having that shit. She Puerto Rican. And then Shakira is Colombian. So they're Spanish speaking, but totally different people and shit. But they all can take you to the soul, though. They can all take you to the soul. All right. So because you have this stellium in Capricorn with the sun is trying to reveal shit, bring shit out. And there's a lot of 20s there, which is about judgment or Pluto energy. And then 22, that's a twin flame, number 1111. But it's also like the number of God's chosen, because it comes to the number 4. Because God's chosen people are like angelic. 21, which is the mother. Kiris, the nurturing. 21 again is like your true north node. 21. So you still see the mother there. Because people don't like to admit it, but I'm kind of experiencing it. But it's almost like Cancer is saying to Capricorn, you're way too cold. You're too business oriented. Because you got to remember, when the former president, George Bush, when he told you we're in a recession now and blah, things are going to be different, it did affect the career. Because they started laying people off and reducing hours. And even at my job, my boss has started huffing and puffing because his employer, see, we work for a corporation. So the corporation is saying, hey, listen, you guys better start making your goals and stuff like that. So they're pushing him to be more aggressive. And like when I've been so fucked up, it's like I'm older. I've been through all this shit before. This is nothing new to me. And I don't mean to disrespect anybody, but you can only do what you can do. So somebody can. It's a comedian that had a joke. He said, man, they're talking about drafting 50-year-old men in the army. He said, them dudes ain't gonna take no orders from nobody. Them motherfuckers been alive for 50 years on this planet. They don't care. So the sergeant will go, you. He'll be like he'll say it to the young guy. You, get over here. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. No, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Because he's only like 20 years old or something. You get up there now. Get up that hill right now. Get up there. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And he's running 20-year-old. He said he'll try that shit with a 50-year-old man. Yeah. Man, what do you want? Get over there right now. What? So he yelling. He gotta walk up. He gotta walk up to the 50-year-old because the 50-year-old ain't walking over to him and shit. And if you wait, it's gonna take him forever to get over there and shit. Get up that hill right there, man! I ain't running nowhere. You got your fucking mind. I'm not running nowhere. I got back problems. So that's just the way it is. So you could talk crazy and say all that. All that stuff sounds good, but ultimately, somebody that done been through 3 or 4 divorces, they all this money can't pay it. They got back problems and stuff. They take the pill and still can't get it up. He don't really care about you yelling. He could care less. So that's just the way it is. So that's what I'm trying to tell you. That's life. Where you begin to just accept shit for what it is. And no matter what happens, you have to believe that God is going to be with you. If you've done the right thing. And now, astrologically speaking, if you're one with the universe, then you have to believe that the universe is going to look out for you. Because you may not have no other choice. Like I said, my doctor don't fill out no paperwork. He never did. That was the very first time I walked in his office. I remember he was talking to his nurse or whatever, his secretary's nurse or whatever. And she was telling him about paperwork that one of his patients wanted him to fill out. And he was like, no, I don't fill out no paperwork. So in order for you to get like if you're trying to fill out an application, they say you have to have a doctor's signature. You have to have your doctor's signature. And your doctor ain't gonna fill it out. So you would have to go to another place. You have to go to another location, another doctor's office, and then he's going to see all your paperwork and shit like that. And he may not be, right away. He's going to say, "You got insurance?" No, I ain't got no insurance. Can't afford it. Okay, well, what do you want us to do for you? Or he'll say, "Yeah, One time I had to call our county that's in charge of all of this shit. And the woman that I talked to, she said, "I'm telling you right now, you're in a dilemma. Cause if you ain't got no paperwork, there's nothing we could do for you." And she said, "Listen, she said one time a Vietnam vet needed paperwork to be filled out, and the doctor said to him, not my doctor, but a doctor said to him, okay, you want me to look at this paperwork? You want me to fill it out? I'm going to need $500 to do so." Just like I told you earlier about somebody, when you wait to the last minute, somebody tells you, okay, well, I'm going to need $400 to look into it. Because they're going to take advantage of the situation. Now, this is a Vietnam vet. This is a man that risked his life for this country. And this doctor still told him, for me to even look at your paperwork, it's going to cost $500. And you still got to pay for the office visit and all that shit. So, you better be connected to somebody, because obviously, they don't give a fuck about you. And obviously, it ain't no law that's going to motivate this person to do his job. Because I hate to tell you this, if you're a doctor, it is your job to look at paperwork for your client, for your patient, whatever you want to call it, and to be able to give answers. But obviously, he doesn't have to if he doesn't want to. So me, I'm more of a spiritual person. I've been walking with God my whole life. So that's why when you hear me out here talking about God, it's because I know it to be real. But if I told you how many times God bailed me out of a horrible situation, it would be endless. So if you hear me talking, anything I'm talking is because I believe it to be factual, because I've experienced it personally. It's not just a pitch to talk some stupid stuff. Oh, yeah, well, yeah. It's not bubblegum astrology. So ever since George Bush said that, it's been kind of like a battle between, because a lot of people were working 40 and 60 hours to get that money. And they had to learn after people started laying them off, because we were in a recession, they said back then, or whatever it was. So everybody started getting laid off. They thought they couldn't make it. But they did find out they did make it. More people were spending more time with their families now. More families were getting closer. Because now mom and dad are home more. Whereas before, both mom and dad were going to keep this house, to keep this roof over their head and all that. But after that recession took place, it wasn't like that no more for a while. So there's always been a battle between Capricorn, family and mother, and career. I mean, it was always a battle between Cancer, family and mother, and Capricorn. So that's what's going on now. And I've learned, like I said, I try to do the best I can wherever I go. But I've learned to just accept it is what it is. So if somebody calls me up and says, hey, listen, we can't put up with this bullshit no more, you're out of here, I just got to do what I got to do. I'm still going to fight, but I got to do what I got to do. I'm not going to worry about it. But that's because I got trust in God. I got trust in the universe. And I've been there before. And I'm very thankful. And plus, I don't fear. Like, if it's your time to go, it's your time to go. You know, it is what it is. I honestly felt like since I've been here, I've been fighting evil. Since I've been here. I was a little kid. I came out my mother's womb fighting evil. And I'm a soldier. So when it's my time to go, it's my time to go. I'm not going to really worry about it. But I want to fight evil until I die. I could care less. And evil does exist. It's just that some stuff people have accepted it. It's still evil, but they don't see it as evil. But it's still evil. Like anything that's not really for the better good of everybody, including babies, then it's evil. Like right now, if I go sleep with some female, right now, I gotta get my rocks off. I go sleep with some female, and then she calls me up later on and says, I'm pregnant. And I go, well, that ain't my problem. Kill that bitch. And hang up the phone. That's evil. I don't give a fuck what you talking about. That's evil. Because you could have put on some type of protection. It's a lot of stuff you could have did to prevent that from happening, and you chose not to. But now it's a life being born, and your response to it is, I don't care, kill it. It's not going to mess my life up. That's evil. And you're going to pay for that, one way or another. You take a life, life is coming your way, one way or another. And sometimes what happens with people, like, they make a mistake when they're younger, and then they get older, and now they want to have a kid, and then that kid dies. They go, oh, why did God take my... Yeah, because you forgot that when you were 17 or 18, you took a life. So that's why when you see 21 and stuff like that, it's karmic. It doesn't mean somebody's going to die, but it means karma. It's karma. It's something that's going to be looked at. And also when you see the number 20, that's the judgment card. So something is going to be looked at. Not necessarily bad or good. And the judgment card can also mean resurrection. Like something that was gone comes back. But it can also be karmic as well. Anything with Pluto, Scorpio, Saturn, Capricorn, even your career where you work at, can be karmic. And like I said, when I first got this job where I work at, I'm trying to work really hard. I'm trying to do a great job. I'm glad to be working. It took a long time to get a job. I was working, and then all of a sudden my doctor misprescribes, and then my leg is fucked up, and it's still fucked up now. And it was like every time I took a step forward, it was like some fucked up shit that knocked me back. But I keep getting back up. Like I said, I'm gonna fight till I die. I don't care. So I can't worry about somebody accusing me of, nigga, you out of your mind. What are you talking about? And if they say, well, we can't deal with this no more, well, okay. I'm still gonna fight though. I'm always gonna be fighting somewhere. Like, to me, it's a walk in the park. I don't care. I've seen it since I've been here. And that's why I see the bigger picture for me. I can't tell other people to do it, but for me, it's always a bigger picture. Like, if you say love to me, I believe in like love. Like, my love is fifth dimensional. Because what you guys call love, I would never call that love. That's like a that's like a smack in the face to real love and stuff. Because it's based on selfishness. Everything is selfish, selfish, selfish. So, like I said, so that's what's really going on. All is stellium is Capricorn. So everywhere she is, it's still Capricorn. Like, her chart to the right is going to be dictated by this chart to the left. Now, is love possible? Well, I would have to say, well, what does the chart over here say first? Now, ironically, Venus, which could represent love, is spiritual. And let me see her Venus. See, her Venus is in Virgo, which is still, Virgo can still be your job. A lot of people, they try to act like it's not. Virgo represents the home, but it also represents your daily duties, your daily activities. So it could be daily duties you do each day. It could be if you got your own little part-time job or something like that, but it's still daily duties. And if not, it probably is Capricornian, 10th house, or wherever you see Capricorn. It's 4:44 p.m. And also this new moon in Aquarius is going to be 4:44. I think if you go to Tanya Gabrielle's YouTube channel, she may have it posted, because I know she does have a video about it. Alright, just give me a second because a couple of things are going on and my browser's running real slow. See, it's not even coming up. I don't even feel like dealing with it. Because if it does work, then it's still going to take forever. Give me a second. Tanya, come on. Gabrielle. Now she said, she just posted this 3 hours ago, Venus Blessings. Because she also sent me something earlier. No, that was, come on. It was, see, my brain is fried. It is, alright. I just knew it was gonna get stuck. I was gonna get pissed off because this shit happen all the time. Now I was gonna get stuck on this music that I don't want to hear and shit. But thank God it didn't get stuck. Thank you. I'm so happy. Thank you, universe. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Because I knew that shit was gonna get stuck and I was gonna be pissed off. Okay, I'm at Tanya Gabriel's YouTube channel. So she's at Aquarius New Moon. But she has something else about 444. But sometimes she only shows it to you if you're subscribed to her newsletter. So if you're not subscribed to her newsletter, I would strongly advise you to get subscribed to the newsletter. Because she said this Aquarius New Moon is in 444. And she also sent me something about Jupiter, which I don't see on her channel. No, it was Terry Nasan. So Terry Nasan has said something about Jupiter blessing for this week. But that might have just been for Leos. I don't know. I didn't have a chance to look at it. All right. All right. So we're going to look at Venus. Because people say, well, what about love? Will this moon bring love? Or they might say, well, I meant somebody. What does the moon say about that, the full moon? So the first, it's other places you can look, but I'm looking at Venus first. Venus is in Aquarius, and remember, it's getting ready to be an Aquarius new moon in just less than 2 days. But that right now, that Venus is 20, well, with this full moon, it was 26. 26 is always going to be the word of God. With the medium Coeli. Medium Coeli can always be like your life purpose as well. And both of these medium Coelis is 23, but it's still in Capricorn. So it may be career related. But then when you look at Capricorn over here, you got this stellium. And when you look at her Capricorn, which is going to be affected by the stellium, oh, that's interesting. But her 10th house is still Aquarius. And then Aquarius is ruled by Uranus. So there is a possibility that in your career sector, there might be an Aquarius type love. And even her Venus is 25 degrees, which that is also law. 25 is law. What law? Well, in this case with Venus, well, it's 25. Give me a second. Give me one moment. 23, 21. So 21 is still karmic. It's the world card, Saturn. Usually, like, you have a lot of karma. And that's why I said you have to be aware of it. Like, you have to be aware of it. You can't just go, oh, you can't sweep it under the rug. But being a Scorpio, sometimes it will, because they just have too many secrets. But you got Sun. The Sun in Scorpio is telling you got to dig. Like you're not afraid. Like really, typically, a Sun in Scorpio is a person who's not afraid to dig and deal with it. Well, she does. She does get readings and stuff. So when you're dealing with that type of Venus that's karmic, that could be anybody. It could be a lover, but it could also be a person who's trying to help you with your karma. Cause like you gotta really map it out, kind of. You know, what have I been through? What did I go through? What do I remember? And deal with it. And I mean, I know, like for some people, it's not easy and stuff, but you're doing yourself a disservice by not dealing with it. That's why I'm gonna say it again. I applaud Jennifer Aniston for giving Brad at least a chance to talk to her, and hopefully Brad has grown up. But I like that about Brad. He always had that youthful challenge. Like if anybody could throw Bruce Lee into a car, it would be Brad Pitt. Even if you came to me first, if you said to me, "Hey, we're gonna make this movie where somebody throws Bruce Lee into a car, but it's gonna be kind of comedic," who would you pick? I would have said Brad Pitt, because he's got a very he's a lot like Jennifer. They got a very in Ellen. They got a very unique comedic sense of humor. And what people don't realize, any real Bruce Lee fan will tell you Bruce Lee had a sense of humor. And I personally don't think Bruce would have been that upset about that. It just would have been what Bruce Lee are you talking about? Because everybody has 3 or 4 different personalities. But Bruce Lee he got kicked into a garbage can as Kato. There's been a couple of times. Even him fighting Robin back in the day, that was comedic. Because everybody knows Robin couldn't fight. Bruce Lee would have whipped his ass. But he had to make it look like it was believable and shit. So I think that was comedic. I'm still laughing about that one. So what it's looking like for you is, under this moon, if you do have any type of love, it's karmic. And that person is going to try to help you be a little bit more focused on your life on planet Earth, and the good and the bad, the sad points, the good points. Because remember, Saturn in the 4th house is pretty much the father, but he's going to connect you to career and stuff like that. And Aquarius's motto is "I know." But see, that's why I told you this new moon is coming right behind, and it's in Aquarius. So any type of love is really full moon love about revelation, and then new moon as well. Because anybody that's going through any type of family abuse or whatever, or family whatever arguments, family intensities, whatever, it was for a reason. That's why I'm trying to tell you, all this shit is for a reason, whether you understand it or not. But you have to get to the point where you're like, okay, let me start to look at this. What was it about? Because even I sent my boss an email, and I was talking about my father in that email. Because similarly, I'm going through what my father went through. Because my father was kind of like not fully his fault. Because it's always been a lot of negativity. I think in any family, there's always been a lot of negativity in the family that kind of pushed him over the, because they could drive me crazy, but I won't let them. Because I say it as a fight. Like, you're not going to win. And I say that all the time. You might have drove so-and-so crazy, you won't drive me crazy. I say that shit to them all the time. Because sometimes it's just like, you just see it. Like, I can see it. Like, some people are just there to bring the drama, bring the chaos, but I understand metaphysics. And sometimes, like I said, you have to learn how to let it go. Because if you don't let it go, you would drive yourself crazy. Because these people are not going to change. These are people I've known for over 40 fucking years. And it hasn't been a lot of change in certain areas. It might have been change in different areas, but in certain areas, it's still crazy. Been crazy, going to stay crazy. And if they can drive you crazy, they're going to do it. And unfortunately, they drove his ass crazy. But other than that, I was there the whole time. He was a nice guy. Here's a nice guy that just got drove crazy. And once he went crazy, he just went crazy. So, I was talking to my boss about that in the email, just some of it. So all this is, it's a journey, and you wish you could just get up and do a great job and be that employee of the month, and you wish you could get it, but it's not going to happen. The universe will use your doctor to give you a pill. Just like her doctor knocked her ass out with a pill. You know what I'm saying? So all this is the way it is. And somebody might say, well, my family's like not like that. Well, I would still like to see your chart. Why isn't your family like that? Because sometimes people lie. But it might not be your journey in this life. Because y'all have to understand, all this racial shit, all of this has been planned out. This is not just something that just happened on planet Earth. This is somebody writing with a pen. Just like your natal chart. Somebody wrote all that shit. All those numbers, all that shit. Somebody sat there and wrote that shit. Just like when the rapper Nas said it is written. He's not lying. It is written. Yeah, like let me just tell you. Sunday, I had to open up my door to go outside real quick. I said, now if somebody's going to fuck with me. And it's in the morning. It's still in the morning. I said, if somebody's going to fuck with me, it's going to be a car right over there. When I opened up that door, guess what was over there? A car. But not just a car, the guys outside the car, walking around the car and all that shit. Now, first off, that area is usually nobody over there. Plus, this is the winter time. That particular day was supposed to be even colder than it was. So out of all areas he could have parked, right there. And then he got to get out the car and be walking around. And I'm just standing here waiting for him to leave. No, because this shit happen all the fucking time. I don't want no connection. Get the fuck up out of here. So I'm standing waiting for the guy to leave, and he just won't leave. So I finally said, fuck, I finally went out there and did what I had to do. Now, if I told you if I had $1 for every time that happens, I'd be a millionaire. So this shit is written no matter how you take it. And like I said, I just read you. Now, when I said, what is the purpose of, whatever I said, what is the meaning of a coincidence? I was just being a jackass. I was just being funny. Little did I know there's a website that I told you that says what is the meaning of a fucking coincidence. Because it ain't supposed to be. If it's really a coincidence, it's not supposed to be a meaning. That's the whole idea of a coincidence. That's why you fucking go crazy if you take this shit seriously. This is your journey. And the moment you realize that this shit is a journey, you'll let it go. I remember when I first started getting introduced to metaphysics, a long time ago, I met this female. And she was in Europe somewhere and some shit. So me and her were talking, and she was like, yo, I got a car that's 25 years old just like you do. She is like, I haven't had a what you would call a job for like maybe 25 years, I don't know. She was just telling me shit. But it was still, there was just me just meeting her. I don't even know how I met her or whatever. I don't remember none of that shit. I just remember her telling me that. And then I started to tell her shit. And then she stopped talking to me. But she was telling me all this shit that she was going through as part of her journey. But a lot of shit she told me was stuff that later on, like many, many years later, Doreen Virtue would say the same thing. Like if you have a spiritual calling, you have to get used to the spirit. It doesn't matter who's calling you a bum. It doesn't matter who's talking shit. Because no matter how hard you're trying to go the other way, it's like the Book of Jonah. I keep telling you to go to the Book of Jonah is only 4. Why do you think it's only 4 chapters long? It's like one of the easiest books to read in the Bible, but it has so much information about when you're called, when you have a calling. So you're going to get used to that. And you can't expect other people to understand it. Because these people are going to be frustrated with your ass. But it's not like you're sitting here saying, ha ha ha, how can I fuck their day up today? Ha ha ha. But somebody is saying that about you. Whoever put your natal chart, whoever put all this shit together, they are saying that. And that's why I said I'm in for a war. Because it's not going that shit is not going to change. And it's not like once you realize that, it's not sad or happy. It's not even frustration. It's just this is why you're here. That's your real reason for being here. Now you might have thought, oh, I have a calling and I'm going to be a preacher. I'm going to be a Catholic priest. And But if that's not what they want you to be, you're not gonna be none of that shit. You're gonna be what the fuck they wrote down and shit for. And it's not even like some of this stuff's not on your chart. This is a day-to-day basis and shit. That's like when you get up one day and you're ready to go and your car won't start. And yesterday it was running fine. So that's what it is. So in your particular case, you do have a Venus presence on your chart, but it's kind of karmic. Not saying it can't turn into love, but it's karmic. It's trying to get you to deal with all the stuff that I don't think you really deal with. Or you keep it all to yourself. And that's fine. But you're going to have to find some way to let it out. You can't just keep it to yourself and don't do nothing with it. Because if you don't, then you're sticking yourself in that loop. And it's going to keep on looping. That's why, like, when I first met you told me all the stuff you were going through. Like, you were meeting guys, but it was the same basic shit or whatever. But you don't blame the guy. Look at yourself. I finally realized that maybe there's a reason why you keep getting those type of situations, or you were getting those type of situations. But the way I say it, you got to go back to the beginning, to why you're here, what kind of type of family you, whatever. Because I just got finished talking to him. I just told my boss my whole, like, I gave him a brief summary. I talked about my sister, her dying, how she died. I talked about my father. I don't think I mentioned my younger sister. If I did, I don't remember. Talked about my mother. My mother's it's always something wrong with my mom's and shit. But I mean, he's like looking like, he's looking at this shit like, whoa. But I give him a lot of credit, because this is 2 years of him dealing with me. I'm not even mad at him. Like, if I walked in there, if he looked at me and said, "You," and he yelled at me and said, "Get the hell out of here," and shit, I wouldn't be mad. Like, dude, I kind of get it. Like, I really understand this shit. I get it. Like, I finally get this fucking planet. Like, it's just what it is. If you don't got a sense of humor, that's why, like, you gotta understand. Like, some of your best comedians, Jerry Lewis, Don Rickles, Pat Allen, I think he's the guy when Howard Stern yelling back in the day. But they get it to a certain day. Like Alan King, women die, women live young, I can't even say it. Women live longer than men. That used to be the title on YouTube. That was Alan King. And he really goes in on that. But he had to change. Like, I think that's the new title. Something he changed it to. I forget what he calls it now, but I get it. These are people that kind of look at the world we're in, and they have a comedic outlook at it, but they're saying a whole lot of shit that's real. And once you get to that point, but they're smart enough, they made a lot of money off of laughing at it. Alright, I'm just waiting for this browser to... There we go. See, he changed it. See, it used to be called Women Live Longer Than Men, but I guess people got offended. So now he calls it Survived by His Wife. But it's Alan King. It's just hilariously funny. But everything he says is hilariously funny. And he starts it off telling you, I'm about to tell you some shit, and if you're going to be offended by it, I got the paperwork. So he keeps reading newspapers to back it up. And you have to watch. It's only 7 minutes, 15 seconds. But you have to watch how he did it. Because what he really wanted to say in the beginning, he couldn't say it. Because he had to prove it first. Then he finally says it. He goes, bitch! And everybody's like laughing by that point. So it's right there if you want to see it. But they just look at the world we're in. And they can see it. They can see it, but they make it into a comical joke. Because if they don't make it funny, you ain't going to want to listen. Or you don't want to hear it, or you're going to get offended. So he has to be able to write it in such a way that it's funny. He's got to pull you in, and then he finally gets to the point. But when you realize it, you actually become a better person, though. Like, take it from me. Like, I'm the ultra conservative, believe it or not. I'm like the ultra Bible student. I'm like the ultra Christian. I'm like the ultra conservative. But once you realize it, you're like, who cares? That's why I said, I'm going outside to play with some dynamite. Have fun. Like, you don't, whereas before, what are you talking about? Put that down. What are you doing? And you freaking go crazy. You'll go crazy trying to stop somebody from something they're going to do. And obviously, if they've been doing it for over 40 years, they're actually probably, that's part of their purpose of being here. Chaos and drama and driving people crazy, and you know, it's part of, what's your calling? I just told you what the calling probably is. I've been here and I've seen it my whole fucking life. And you don't even have to get mad. Like before, you would get mad and get upset and huffing and puffing and you know, like I said, like somebody could, you know, saying horrible things about like Angelina Jolie, when really at the end of the day, she was just a woman looking for love. And obviously, she rushed into marriage because she really wanted to be married. People were like saying, "Oh, she's just a homewrecker," and she meets a guy, she takes him another man from his wife, and then she jumps into a marriage, and then she's out of the marriage, and they were all blaming her, but they don't understand it. There are reasons for everything. And ultimately, if you ask the men, because I watched the whole interview, the men were saying, "No, she wanted to stay married. I was the one that got out of it." So you're calling her a home wrecker. You're saying, oh, she's a home wrecker and she takes a guy from his wife and then she doesn't even stay married to him. But it's the man saying, I got out of it. She wanted to stay married. So you gotta listen before you. I mean, everybody likes to gossip and shit, but you gotta listen so that you can find out what really happened. Because I was really interested in the whole thing, and it made sense to me. And what you don't realize is some of these people, the universe may use later on. Like they may really start a healing center and shit like that. They may start helping married couples get, you know, married or understand what happened, why the marriage went wrong and shit. They may actually do that because they got experience in it. Because after a while, you might get sick of just making a movie after movie after movie. You might get sick of it. So like I was a big fan of Julia Roberts and shit at one point. She was my favorite actress at one point. These people might actually get sick of Hollywood. That's why, if you notice, the universe is just breaking Hollywood down. Like that dude, that dude Ricky, whatever his name is. You saw what he did? What he said to all those people and shit? And he called out one of my favorites. One of my favorites is Jodie Foster and shit. Of all time is Jodie. I was there. We were both kids. I remember when I first looked at her, I was like, wow, she's really good. Like she is a kid actress. And I'm just a kid watching television. And she was a kid actor who was about the same age and shit. I said, man, she's going really good. I said, she's gonna go far and shit. And she did. So my point being made, people, it's a reason for everything. Instead of you getting so uptight, wake up glad. If you woke up, like this is what they say in the churches. If you woke up in any type of bed, be thankful, because there's a lot of people waking up on rocks and shit. Like, don't sit here all day and be mad at everybody. Don't be mad at the world. Don't be mad at God. Don't be mad. Just be glad. Be glad. Like, be glad you're alive. Be glad you have the opportunity. Like, if you know how many times I've been fired and I shake somebody, it's not because I'm a bad person. It's just all kind of hell always breaks loose. So I shake their hand. I don't go, oh, fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you for firing me. I shake the guy's hand. Thank you for the opportunity and walk out and shit. You got to learn this is a journey, man. That's why you don't have to hold that shit in. Don't hold it. That's the worst thing you can do. If you've been through any form of abuse, I'm going to tell you, get healing. Don't hold that shit in. You're doing a disservice to yourself. It's like you continually abuse yourself by holding that shit in. You got to deal with it. Let it go so you can move on, because you're here for a reason. You're here for a reason, whether you believe it or not. So, and it might not be the reason you think that you're here for. So that's what I see with your Venus. And I see if you're not finding love, it's because you won't let it go. Like, you have to deal with it. When I say let it go, what I mean by let it go is you have to deal with it so that you can let it go. And that's really what your 12th house really is supposed to be about. But when a person won't do it, then a lot of your houses become your 12th house. like almost everybody you meet becomes your 12th house and shit. Because that person is designed, whether they know it or not, to get you to deal with it. Because the universe is not going to let you go to the next whatever without dealing with it. All right, now we got something from Neptune. Yeah, I'll take a look at that too. Let's look at your Neptune, but not yet, because we already did kind of look at it. No, because I also got this. It's talking about chemical water change notification and shit. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? All right, so I gotta definitely check that out. All right, and it's funny because Neptune. You know why it's funny? Because Neptune rules water and shit. It rules Pisces and water and shit. Now they're talking about a chemical change notification and all, and it's like important and shit, like scaring the hell out of you. Like, what the hell? Why? Why is it your reading? Why is your reading the one where I'm all the screaming and shit? What's going on? Yeah, but she had her water experience because I remember she sent me an email one time. She had a water experience and shit. Like nothing is accidental or coincidental. Now I'm gonna be afraid. I'm afraid to take a bath now. What the hell? What the hell? No, I'm joking with that one. All right. So the purpose of this one was tell you don't be afraid. Don't be afraid of anything. Be safe. Remember, Virgo is also for healing. So that's why your Venus is there. So I'm accurate. I'm right. So if there is something going around you, the person is trying to help you. And Venus right now is 26 over here and 23, which is Sirius, the Sirius constellation. So if you want to hear that video I did about the Sirius constellation, you can. But like I said, it just turned out. It just went the way it went. It's just kind of funny. There's a lot of synchronicities with that as well. All right, so where else can we look? Vertex. Yep. Now look at this. The vertex in the universe is in Scorpio, your sun sign, and when we look at the vertex on your chart, it's in Libra, which is the couple, or business partners, or your couple, or relationships, and then it's got Pluto again. Pluto rules Scorpio, so that is the ultimate. If you have any situation like that, that is the ultimate purpose of that person or persons that you have to deal with, whatever, the family, especially the fourth house, but anywhere where you see Cancer, because your Cancer's got the Mars, anywhere where you see the Moon, and that's in your eighth house. So it's like you got to deal with it. And if you got the dream journal, because you might be getting information in the dreams, and even look over here, even here, you got Lilith retrograde, Neptune, but it's 16 degrees, which is Mars energy again, and it's also the 29, which is it's not anaretic because it's not a degree. But if it was 29 degrees, it would be anaretic. It's still karmic, and it's like boom. That's what anaretic is. Don't let nobody fool you. Just because I went boom doesn't mean it's got to be boom, but it's still a boom situation. A light comes on or whatever, it's still a boom situation. So don't let nobody fool you, because that's the first thing they'll say is, oh no. Anaretic degree doesn't have to be a boom. All it means is you're going through. Don't listen to that shit. Don't listen to that shit. All right. So yeah. So it is spiritual because it's still Pisces, like I told you, 26. So if you do have any type of love going on in your life, whatever type of love it is, it's waking you up and stuff. But that's what I'm trying to tell you. Who do you think Jennifer Aniston has a lot of personal, private conversations with? It's Ellen. Who was there when the towers went down? Ellen. How many of y'all remember that? Because right after that, it was some type of, I don't remember what it was. It was either the Grammys or the Emmys or the Oscars. It was something that Ellen fought right after the 9/11. And recently, she got in trouble because she's friends with George Bush. And everybody was saying, Ellen, how can you be friends with that guy and shit? So, and I'm not saying I agree or disagree. You guys don't get it. I'm just reporting all this shit and telling you how it's in the universe and how it pertains to you. And these people that are getting these reads they're smart. All I say is get it by expert. It could be me, it could be anybody, but make sure the person is an expert. And then you have to learn how to listen because they are telling you a lot of shit. But like if you're not listening, it doesn't matter. If you're not going to listen, you can go wherever you want. But if you're going to listen and get the expert, because he's trying to tell you, he or she is trying to show you what's really going on. Why you're seeing the same people in your universe, same people you saw with getting the 9/11 with Ellen, and you're still seeing them. George Bush is still in the news talking to Ellen. They're goofing on for some reason because they're trying to tell you something. And like I said, because before, when it was a boom in our lives, we threw a fit. Oh, I lost my car. Oh, I had it for 25 years. Now it's a boom and we go, oh, whatever. Like I said, I'm going outside to play with some dynamite. Okay. Whereas before, we were, what the fuck are you? Dynamite? Wait a minute. Where did you get it? Now we're like, And it's not that we're defeated. We just realize it's going to happen, whatever it is. You got to learn how to go through that journey. Because if it was really that important as you thought it was, it would have really been important. But the fact that you're still here with a different outlook on everything shows that you're learning. This is the journey. And even when I went to that thing of that website I went to with Alex, whatever her name is, Alice, I forget, and she said Dr. DK or something. That's what she said. It's a journey. All this stuff is about a journey. It's not an ending. It's just a journey. One door will open as that other door closes. And like I said, you don't realize that when you're working, especially like I know I'm a metaphysical person. People are watching you. That's why I said, why is this female? What's the deal? I never talked to her. What's going on? How could she possibly feel that way? Because she was mad. Like it was another female that worked here, and that female was determined to talk to me. And I'd be like, I just be doing my own shit because I don't want no drama. I just be working. It's not I'm not mad. I just don't want no fucking drama because there's always some bullshit. But that female was determined to talk to me and shit. So she went out of her way and shit. And then that other female saw that night. She was like unbelievably mad. Like, why is she so mad? I don't even talk to her. That's why. Like, that's why she's mad. But then I started going out of my way to say hi to her and shit. And so that's what I see on your chart. Like that's what I see. I don't this particular moon. I don't. If it's there, I just don't see it. I just see basically you just gotta deal with a lot of stuff. As a Scorpio, you gotta realize that's why you're the sun sign in Scorpio because you gotta wake up. And also, you guys gotta understand that it's a lot of planets in one house with career and shit. And I'm telling you, why would I have to be telling why would I have to? But y'all gotta understand, like me and my boss, we go all the way back to when I first started and shit. So it's nothing for me to like say something in an email or something, or even like if I saw him or whatever, tell him. But a lot of times we be working and shit, so it is what it is. So that's Venus, and we did the vertex. So yeah, because everything I'm looking at is saying the same thing for you. You, and I always tell you that though. Like you gotta deal with it. That's all I can tell you. I don't know what, and you might already be dealing with it. I don't know, but I just see it on your chart. Okay, let's deal because Jupiter's money. So Jupiter, but again, Jupiter also is in Capricorn, which is still career, and then your Jupiter is retrograde, and Jupiter retrograde is also can be about your belief system. But we talked about that a long time ago, I think. I know we did. I remember. But your Jupiter and your good fortune is there at 24 degrees, which is a return. And that's in what? Your 12th house? Yep. Why? Because it's all about endings. And then you got Lilith again. So your Lilith is also, because 12th house is ruled by Neptune, that rules Pisces. And so that's where your Lilith is. And then over here is Neptune, Pisces, and Lilith. and that's your ninth house. And then when you go to your ninth house, it's Neptune. So yeah, it's like the universe just took everything and just smooshed it. You guys know what I mean by smush? You ever heard that word before? Smush. It's like you just take everything and mush it, or smush it, whatever you want. And that's what they did. They just compacted everything. This particular, the full moon. This is the full moon. Now I don't know what the new moon is, but remember the new moon is about new stuff. All right. So I went downstairs and I was just down there, just thinking this over. All right. So the main thing is, like, you see most of the planets are in Capricorn, and we did cover that. But remember, Capricorn could be career, reputation, and it is karmic. Anything with Saturn or Capricorn is karma, because Saturn is karma and Capricorn rules that. So it's karmic, and almost every place we try to look keeps taking you back to something that has to do with relationship or love, but it's based on you having a realization or coming more open with yourself about the matters that we usually always talk about. And that's why, if you notice, we said the moon could represent the mother, and then the Saturn could represent the father. So it's that stuff too, or and sometimes stuff is past life, which you know, probably takes a little bit more introspection to get that all worked out. But pretty much, I think this may be current. This is like current stuff. But unfortunately, it's almost like the same time. We always say that. We always say that. But that's the vibe I'm getting off of. See, I don't know. I think like when you heal, that's where the portals open. But if you don't heal, then you will find yourself in similar relationships and stuff like that. And this is why sometimes people say, oh, all women are dogs or whatever. But it's not so much all women are dogs. It's just that maybe how you do it, like how you're doing yourself. Like, you might be holding on to something you need to let go, or you need to heal from something that you won't heal from. You don't want to face it or whatever. So that's why it's the same energy. Like, I keep trying to tell you that everything is energy, energy, energy. And that's why I said one person can walk in and the women don't really respond. Another person walks in shortly after him, and the women just go crazy. They're smiling at the guy, trying to get his attention, all kind of shit. And the other guy walked in, ain't nobody say nothing to him. And I remember a long time ago, if you guys remember Kamish, I remember an episode of Kamish. It was a guy that came in the office or whatever, the police headquarters or whatever, and the ladies couldn't get enough of him. The ladies loved this guy. And Kamish was like, what is it about him? We're both heavy set, boom, boom, boom. But he did have a little bit of charisma, but he wasn't like a charming, beautiful guy. He's like a big guy, had a suit on, but I guess it's just the energy that people put off. Like, we don't realize that it is energy that people can see. Because not Carl Sagan, Edgar Casey. One day he was about to get in an elevator, and he looked at all the people, and he could tell by whatever was going on with them not to get in that elevator, so he didn't get in. And within 2 minutes later, that elevator crashed to the ground, and everybody died. See, he could see the auras around. He could see the colors of them. And when he got it, he saw they didn't have no colors or something. So he knew. So that's kind of crazy. So whatever they had around them, whatever it was, I don't know what the aura represents. One day I'm probably gonna I might talk about that one day on my show, on my channel or something. But he didn't see the auras. He didn't see the colors or nothing, so he knew not to get on the elevator, and they all died. And that's what I mean. Sometimes you try to tell people and they don't listen, and it's sad. But that's why I said the more the more you learn, you just got to move on. So that's primarily what I'm seeing, because that's why I said if you look at your chart, Mars and Saturn, we already covered that. Then we talked about Neptune, and I did say tell you about the psychic abilities, because again, this is your eighth house, and that is supernatural house, and we know that Sagittarius is good for psychics and all kind of Neptune too, telepathy and all that. And then you see the moon stepping in there for just getting there. And then we connect the moon back to Cancer, but also the mother and things of that nature. So we still, like personally, we still see it as karmic, because it's almost like she's going to help you through the journey. And what's the journey? Well, it just seems like it's a lot of stuff that maybe happened in your past, and I'm thinking it might have been this life, but it might have been other life that you have never really try to get healing from or address it or whatever. Because it's almost like the same. It's almost like the same thing. Because I know I went over this, so that's what I get here, and I'm trying to show you that everything I'm trying to do keeps going back to the same thing, even on this chart. And then when it gets to relationship, even that takes you back to, okay, well, you got some karma that you have to work on. And even like a Venus in Virgo is still a home. It could be the daily job, it could be daily activities, but it's still a home. And then it could be healing, just like I said. So when I think about Joyce Myers, that she had a horrible relationship with her father, not her fault, but her father was just crazy and a pervert. And so I know when she first met her husband, the guy that would become her husband, I know for a fact that she didn't open up to him either. And you could tell she was very strong towards him too, and he had to be able to deal with that. He had to be able to deal with a woman basically that wore the pants, literally, and she really did. He had to deal with it, but I'm sure it was some other time that she told him what she had been through. I don't think she would just meet the guy, but then some people do. Some people do say, "Yeah, I was abused." She might have told him right off. Who knows? But sometimes you don't want to lose the guy or something like that, so you might not tell him right off that happened. But at some point, she had to tell him, and then he had to be a stronghold for her to go back to her father and deal with that situation and help her father repent and get saved. So the universe can do what it does, and that's a story that's an account that has somewhat of a happy ending. But still, it had to be with going back. You had to deal with it, because had not she dealt with it, she'd be in denial, and nobody would really understand why. And some people might be able to figure it out, but sometimes when you don't tell your spouse what happened, that might be one of the reasons why y'all finally break up, because they don't know why you act the way you do, and then they start taking it personal. So that's why I said the best thing she did was deal with it. So Sagittarius, like I said, seeks the truth as well, and that is in your eighth house. And then it's like the mother's there as well. The moon, and it's a reason why your moon just left your true north node, which is still Scorpio, the ruler of the eighth house, and then the moon goes right into the eighth house, because she's trying to help. She's trying to help with this awareness. And remember, like I said, that Neptune also rules the 12th house, also rules Pisces. So when you look at your 11th and 12th house, you start seeing the asteroids, because a lot of your asteroids is on that side. In fact, most of your asteroids are on that side. But other than that, it looks like the right side of your chart is pretty much saying deal with any past offenses and things to get healing. So like I said, 10th house Aquarius, 11th house ruled by Aquarius is Pisces. But we already realized that that is the person you might be meeting, because we already know what the chart to the left is already done. You know, the Pisces and Aquarius have a special relationship right now. And then your 18 degrees, which is Pallas, which is the soulmate asteroid, but it's the moon. It's the moon degree as well. 7 degrees is a star with Vesta. But anything with the moon is going to either be the high priestess or your mother. And it's still showing you that spiritual connection. Because we see a spiritual connection, really a love connection. We see a spiritual love connection coming your way, but it's still based on you dealing with the situation. All right. So whenever you have like Lilith retrograde, and is that retrograde? Let me just make sure. I'm gonna double check. Yeah, it is. It's definitely retrograde. But if you don't really look at it, it does look like just a dot. How I know it's retrograde? Because I look at your palace. The one that says 18 degrees, that's definitely a retrograde. And that's the same thing below it. But it looks like it's a dot. No, but that's a little retrograde. So this is already, see, this is my point. Little retrograde is already going to be inward, keeping it to herself. And she'll hide it. And like she will trick herself. That's a person who don't want to deal with it. Then she'll say it didn't happen or it wasn't that bad. Or she'll deny stuff for whatever reason. But see how it's 12 degrees. That's the hangman. He's not going to tell you. He's going to keep it to himself. But it's in the 12th house, which is also about isolation and hiding and all that. And then you got the 3 there. Now the 3, again, is either Gemini energy, the 3rd house. Or it's the Empress, which is Venus energy. But just don't like it's just not like people got to use good judgment. But a lot of people just feel that way. Oh, I won't tell nobody. Or just be but it's not good. And whenever you're dealing with a chart like this, these two, anytime you're dealing with Saturn or Capricorn, especially see where the light is, see where the sun is. See how the sun is in Capricorn. So things that you think are hidden can come out. And every now and then that happens. Because, like, you would be surprised how many jobs where people are having sex on the job. Literally. It's almost like when you was in junior high school or high school. And people be having sex on the staircase or something. They still do that. And you would think people would be smart enough not to do that at the job. Because if you lose a job, you ain't got no income. But they still do it. And, because even like Lilith retrograde in the 10th house, that's what that's all about, scandal and stuff. And Lilith sets you up because she'll set you up. Like the universe is gonna make it happen. The universe will definitely put you in a room with somebody, and they looking at you, you looking at them or whatever, and then you know how it'll go. And then next thing you know, somehow somebody find out. Or in some cases, some females will just lie. Like, oh no, he pulled me back there. You understand? And then this guy get fired and cheat on or something like that. And nowadays with cameras everywhere, that's why we trying to tell people that there are cameras everywhere. You don't really know. You're hoping that it ain't and the camera didn't see you. But some people get caught, some people don't. But unfortunately, when you're dealing with charts like this one, it is all about karma. That's why you see a lot of Saturn, and you see a lot of Capricorn is all karma. Your career, your reputation, karma. A lot of 21s, and a few other things that mean karma, or like number 20, 20 degrees, like Pluto 20 degrees or something. 20 degrees is judgment. So again, Jupiter is at 16 degrees, but Jupiter retrograde usually has to do with belief systems. Now, Jupiter is a guardian angel, though. Jupiter in your 12th house, which it is a guardian angel, which means as long as you're doing what you're supposed to, you'll always have money. Also, so that's the guardian angel, but Jupiter retrograde is also belief systems. So you can tell by your 12th house and your 8th house, and these are both the houses. See a lot of secrets, a lot of subconscious stuff, a lot of hidden stuff, but it's belief systems that have to be changed or updated. And who knows? Like I said, I wouldn't know, but if somebody told me to take a shot at it, it would be almost like if let's just say you, I'm not saying this is the case, but let's just say you're being molested when you're young or something like that, and that's the first thing they're gonna tell you is don't tell nobody, or this is a secret between me and you. This is our secret. So that's kind of like a belief system, because this person has a belief system that I shouldn't tell, or I said I wouldn't tell, or I don't, and they may have it because sometimes people had it as a little kid and they actually grow up with it. And it may take a long time before they break that little thing they said. Why? I don't know, man. Like I said, remember, Capricorn and stuff deals with public reputation and stuff like that. But that's a belief system that has to be broke because, like, with this, but it's always been saying that, like, this is not the first time we've done this with your charts. But this chart is specifically saying it has to be dealt with. And then, if a person comes in your life, two things are going to happen. If that person is a good situation, a good person or whatever, that person is still going to try to help you to heal and bring anything out in open. If a bad person comes in your life, they're not really going to care because they care less. But whatever's going to help you get them what they want, which is pleasure, they're gonna be with it. It's a whole lot of dudes that say, "I hope she a freak. I hope she been through some freaky stuff because she gonna be freaky with me." They could care less what you've been through. But whenever everything's karmic, it's just letting you know that whatever any of us do, at some point we got to answer for it. So when you're 12th house, it's funny how you got all those retrogrades. See, but I know why, because what's in your 12th house? Aries. Who rules Aries? Mars. Now go back to your family, 6-9. There's Mars again. Now go back to the 4th house that the family rules. Go back to your Cancer, who rules the family, Mars. Now go back to your 4th house ruled by family, Mars. So that, I'm sorry, Saturn. Saturn retrograde to be exact. No, is it? No, it's Saturn. All right. All right. So then you got good fortune, but once again they go to return. Whenever you see that 24, the return, and then 23 again. Pretty much a serious constellation. So what I get from that is, because if you notice, everything was retrograde until you got to 24, the return. And I told you that 24 is a return. Like I said, if something happened on Emory Street a year ago and you leave, but then you come back a year later and go back to Emory and say, yo, I'm gonna deal with that. Last time this happened, I just left and I've been going for a year, but now I came back to deal with it. That's really what 24 means. It means a return. And if you notice, that's the only one, that's the only thing in your 12th house, except for, no, that's the only thing in your 12th house with no aura. And I don't think there's ever an EP that's an aura. Like AC and EP are never aura. So that's because you had to deal with it. And then they say you're going to get blessings. You're going to get good fortune because you dealt with it. You got to deal with whatever Aries aggression, whatever Mars aggression or Saturn firmness hit you. And I mean, it would have to be something, because it would, like if it was just like if you just had a strict parent, that's not something that would necessarily mess you up psychologically or affect you, because anybody might have you just had a strict parent. It's not like, so I don't know. So that's why Chiron and 20, Chiron, and then that number 7 is still Cancer. That's a Chariot. That's still Cancer energy. So no healing again. So that's why I say you could see on your chart, you could definitely see it was some type of aggressive thing, that something happened with it that you had to just deal with and reckon with. And then when they go to EP again, or the ego EP, it keeps taking you back to 26. All right. So that's that. So again, what it's saying is, when you open up and begin to heal, then everything you're dealing with, especially in relationship, won't heal. Now, as far as career, if you got a career and got a job making money, that's a good thing. But even that location is being used. That's why I was trying to explain certain stuff to you. Now, there was something that went on when you got asked to come in the back, or whatever that was all about. But that was something too. So whether that was energy or initiation or something or whatever. But what these charts are saying basically is you have to get whatever healing. It was definitely some type of Aries, Mars aggression, and also Saturn toughness or whatever. Maybe worse. Like, I don't know. And and it's also in your true north node, because 21 is the world card, but that's Saturn energy. But you had to get some type of healing from that or whatever before you could, because otherwise any relationship you have, it's almost like what you used to tell me about. It's almost like you're just gonna get used or whatever, or the guy's not really gonna see you as somebody that he really wants to be with, as far as just whatever. But what I'm seeing is that's the result of you not healing from this. It's all karmic. All this is karmic. So that's why I keep talking about energy. So you got to heal your karmic energy. You got to deal with that. You got to heal the karmic energy, and then you'll start to send out a new energy, and that's different. And plus, like anybody listening, if you really want a good relationship and stuff like that, sometimes you got to study. Like everybody thinks it's gonna be like Snow White or some shit. Like you think somebody's gonna give you a glass shoe or some shit, and it's gonna be love. It's not like that in real life. Some people get that, and how do some people get it? Because like I said, a lot of that's about energy, and everybody in his personality. It's energy and his personality. Because some people just, like, some people are not all uptight, and they're just different. So that when they're in a situation, they're not uptight, they're not worrying, and they're just going with the flow, and it just works out. Sometimes. Then sometimes they're like that, and they get played out. Like it's just, it is what it is. But the more you discipline yourself as far as life, and you learn to grow up a little bit, then it is what it is. Because either way, you meet somebody and it almost started out good, then the person started talking crazy, but then you check them, and that way they know not to try that shit with you again. And if they do keep trying that shit, that's not somebody you want to be with because they're too immature. And that's why the more I study this whole soulmate twin flames, like I said, when you're young, you don't mind meeting somebody and breaking up or all that shit. But as you get older, you're not into that shit no more. So if you can already tell this person a little too immature or that, you're not interested. And then they get mad because they feel like, well, this guy ain't giving me no chance and all that. And who does he think he is? But I'm not in junior high school no more. Just like I said, if I go to a job, if I'm not meeting qualifications, they gonna fire me. Like I'm not with it no more. So it's not a bad thing. People try to make you think it's a bad thing, but it's not a bad thing because you may not want to live 1980 again. You may not want to live 1995 or 2000 again. You've already done it. But what you don't do is play with people's emotions and stuff like that, because then that's only causing problems. So people will tell you you're wrong for this reason or wrong for that. But if you really didn't do anything, you're not really wrong, and you don't have to be with somebody just because they're staring at you. But you do have to conduct yourself in such a way that you're not playing games with people's emotions and shit. And then you just have to learn how to be stronger so that you can get through this, because there's going to be tests. There's going to be tests to pull you into a whole bunch of bullshit. So that's pretty much what that is. So I'm out. God bless.